In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
keeps?
Gone are the days of Pons and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we're all roughly from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we as people are better, but because our entertainment was. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that keeps churning its way out of the Hollywood sludge pipe. How is everybody doing?
Our dong is longer too. It's a
Yeah.
matter of fact. Yeah. When you're born in that generation, it's just a matter of fact. Statistics.
Then I've been robbed.
We've got a wonderful guest, Albaleo. Is that how you say it?
I appreciate that no one knows how to pronounce it right.
I think I heard you say it in a video once.
Albedeo.
And it's Albelio, but yeah.
Albeleo. Okay. I was a 50-50 shot.
No, it's
Albelio.
okay. It's like the inside joke that's not an inside joke at all.
We've got
Is that like in Mexican?
What?
No, actually a game character.
Well, we've
But
got.
it's a lot better than someone else in like a Discord forever ago was like, I'll blow you. It's like that's
I'll blow you.
I appreciate it.
Albelio.
That's about it.
Cool. We've got wonderful YouTuber Albaleo. No, Albelio. Albelio on the stream.
Think it in Mexican. It's easier if you think it in Mexican. Albelio.
Oh, yeah, I do. I often pronounce words in Spanish.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's
my
easier.
My name is technically Mexican. Check that out.
There you go. See, and you too can technically also become a Mexican by becoming a channel member. Thanks for the segue. It's only 99 cents a month, and you get access to wonderful emojis and status symbols for how long you've been a member in a wonderful community. It also really helps me to be able to produce videos because, as you can tell, the one I released this week was literally an entire week's a week of work, holy cow, it was an endeavor. Several all-nighters. I'd love to be able to work on them during the day and do this full time, but right now it's at night. Yeah, we've got some wonderful people in the chat. We've got Mark Clark, a channel member. Fantastic. I'm not going to be able to read all of these because the chat's moving really fast. We got Not Kevin Feige. It's good to see you here. Who am I missing? That's it for now. Thanks for joining the stream. We have not quite a lot to talk about. I mean, we do and we don't. Like, there's not a whole lot of TV to talk about, but there's a whole lot of news and bad takes and just general discussion. And I'm looking forward to it. Albelio, I've been kind of following your YouTube channel for probably about, I think I found you like a year ago.
Thank you.
Why don't you just introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, I'm Albelio. Nice to meet y'all. I tend to rant about really bad things, praise very good things, which is seldom. And now I just discuss I've been shifting over to discussing things, ideas, and that's hard because it
It's
requires
hard.
thinking. But I'm trying.
Yeah. Do you like script out your videos, or do you just wing it and then edit it down?
No. I choose to script it because if I didn't, everything would be all over the place like a cocaine fueled squirrel.
I think for me it depends on like the topic, you know. If it's something I know just a whole bunch about, I can just go and then edit out all the pauses.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want it to be more sophisticated, like a lot of your videos are, I'll write it out. And then that's the problem. When I script it out and I'm reading it, I get self-conscious. And I'm like, my performance would be better if I wasn't reading this.
Yeah, I never scripted because I have to be angry, so it doesn't work when you just have to react, like the
Mark
first
Clark,
reaction.
where's David? David has in-laws in town, so he's skipping this week.
He's gonna be ultra late, so not at all in here.
Yes, our channel member emeritus. Yes, our oldest channel member, Mark Clark, wonderful guy. What was I saying? Abelio, your style is super unique. I really like your genre of YouTube, your niche, whatever. What is it? Your
I would
presentation?
think niche, at least presentation. Yes.
Yeah. You've got crazy good pixel art, which I always love, and really good opinions. So
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to talking tonight.
Yeah.
We're also joined by Jared, who just turned off his camera, probably because he's biting into a ham sandwich.
No, I was looking up Albelio. I didn't want to be, like leaning
Right.
over and so anyway.
I would have really appreciated if he comes back and he's just got crumbs and mustard. Just as you say that, like,
Well,
Yeah, nah. That was the intro for, that's the reason for the intro, to be able
I
to
had
eat
to
as
cram-
much food and just clean yourself.
I had to cram a lot in during the intro. I've got these wonderful little Halloween sugar cookies that my kids made.
Nice.
Oh, delicious.
So I shoved a couple of those in my mouth during the intro. We're joined by cousin Jared and the Angry Mexa, all the way from a part in Mexico, which I won't disclose.
is it new?
No, it's just dangerous. Yeah, man. How the Wheel of Time is over. I'm glad, relieved, but I still have tons of work to do because I wasn't on game. I wasn't on. I still have a whole bunch of Wheel of Time videos to make. That's the point. So it's not.
I feel bad I didn't get to discuss them with you.
Yeah. Well, we can always talk about it.
Yeah, we have to wait till the end. We have to wait till the end to do that.
You haven't finished watching?
No. I finished watching them. I meant like the end of the stream, so I don't.
Yeah. So we don't kick everyone. So we don't lose our entire audience by only ever talking about the Wheel of Time. It's just fresh. It's a fresh wound, and it hurts very, very deeply. But we got some bad takes. We got some news. This one's fun. Do you guys see the Daily Wire is making a Snow White movie?
Mm-hmm.
I have seen something about that. Yeah.
I think it's
can't wait.
hilarious.
The best troll ever.
With their female Ben Shapiro.
Blair
in
White,
the
yeah.
role.
Blair White. I mean,
I have questions
Honestly,
about
imagine-
Ben if that's the case.
okay,
bro.
honestly, if they did that though, that would be hilarious.
Bro.
That would be the ultimate troll.
Like
I was about to say that Blair White will make a better Snow White than Blair Cooper. I don't know. Her haircut is not helping her. That's it. That's it for me.
she makes a much better Snow White than Rachel Ziegler.
I mean, but that's saying like there's someone, I don't know, like someone pretending to be a Mexican makes a better Mexican, like the primos make better Mexicans.
Like Vasquez and Aliens.
I mean, I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to get the the stream demonetized.
Not so early. Come on, we wouldn't want that angry mixer.
Piston Honda 87 says Castlevania Nocturne should have been named Castlevania Black Girl Magic. We'll get to Castlevania because I'm pretty upset about it, and I haven't even watched it yet.
No.
But I watched Albelio's wonderful video on it. I want to point out I saw it when it was still under 100 views, so I knew it before it was cool. That's
I gotta check that out then, because I don't want to watch that show at all.
No, don't. Please don't. Let's just get into it. We gotta talk about Nocturne.
I didn't want to go first.
I know, it's just it's okay.
Don't worry, I can give you some reading room.
I watched
what the fuck? What the heck is that? What the heck is this?
I watched Netflix's Castlevania 4 seasons, right?
Yeah,
correct.
I enjoyed it. Season 1 is absolute perfection, and plot wise from there, it kind of starts slowly falling apart just a little bit. Like the plot really gets weird, but it was always fantastic. Amazing animation, just beautiful fight scenes. So even when the plot gets a little bit ridiculous, like in season 4 when spoilers, like the bad guy is just death, which was really weird for me. Like that was a weird choice. And like don't they like kill Dracula in season 2?
Yeah.
And then the whole thing is about bringing him back, and then he gets a redemption arc, and you're like, I thought Dracula was Dracula. So I haven't played any of the Castlevania games. I've always wanted to. I don't have time for video games, as I love them and I would love to play them more. I just don't get to do it very often. I have lots of good friends who are way into Castlevania, and I know that they're kind of pissed. So I don't have that context of like, oh, it should have been this. I'm solely analyzing Castlevania from a literary perspective, right? From a critique perspective, I'm not judging it as an adaptation. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Dracula is the villain for all of the Castlevania games, right?
Most of them, yes.
Right. What? So
99% of the time it's Dracula.
But he's a good guy now.
He's a good guy that went through a redemption arc that wasn't a redemption arc, that was off screen, and he got a happy ending.
Yeah, no, he didn't even get redeemed on screen. It was he changed while being off screen, and then you're in hell. He gets killed, sent to hell, becomes a good guy in hell, and then you meet the character again, and he says, "I'm a good guy now, boy." And then he gets reincarnated into a happy ending with his wife.
He's too handsome to be evil.
If honestly, if it wasn't like the character Dracula, I don't think it's the worst story arc. But I just don't see how that works for Dracula. Kate J asks, who looks more like Ben Shapiro's sister or Brett Cooper? And I think we all know the answer to that question.
I think we all know the answer, folks. In fact, I think it's me. In fact.
Okay, gang.
I can't do the Ben Shapiro voice. I wish.
I can do it either. It's really hard for me to do imitations. I'm really good with imitations usually, but in English, I don't know. It's really hard. You guys are weird. You guys speak weird.
Ben Shapiro speaks weird, okay? I speak just fine.
Okay, gang. Yes.
Okay.
We're going to review Barbie today.
One day AI will be able to go back and fix all of this. Honestly, that's why I'm on AI's side here. It could
Imagine
not.
That.
Every time people freak out about AI online, I'm just like, please, anything is better than what we currently have.
That's what
This-
all the strikes were about, though. They were like, "No, we're going to lose our jobs to AI." It's
You
like,
don't
okay, well, if your
deserve
scripts
your
weren't so
Yeah,
bad that
they're
AI
gonna
could replicate them.
They're
Like,
gonna still lose their jobs anyway.
I honestly can't. I think it feels like your scripts are already being written by AI. Like, how are you complaining about this?
Some of them are definitely.
It's the money.
It's the same quality.
Even worse.
Yeah, I know.
Because
it was
at
all
least
about,
the AI does a little bit of research. It has an engine that is able to use Google. Writers nowadays don't use Google. They don't say, "Oh, does this make sense in the universe I'm creating?" So easy.
the writer's strike. Just immediately, the narrative fell on its face when I looked at their demands, and it had nothing to do with what they were saying on camera.
Mhm.
Their demands were, we want it to be illegal for TV shows and movies to not have
Not-
writers' rooms smaller than 30 writers. And you're like,
What the fudge?
what? Like,
How is that
They-
even possible, right?
like it makes no sense. Their demands are hilarious.
They
Um,
didn't meet any of them. Like probably they just tell them, "We're not gonna fire you, and we're gonna pay you a little bit more than we were going to pay you for the months that you didn't work at all."
So Castlevania, the point of the story was I really enjoyed season 1. I stuck around for the rest of the seasons because the animation was so beautiful. Storytelling got a little bit silly. There were definitely some parts that were like man-hating. The main character gets like crapped all over several times, and it's weird. But I still enjoyed it. It was fun to watch.
What's new? Another man character being
Yeah.
not the good guy, not always the good guy.
Well,
no, he has to be
but he
embarrassed.
had
has to
moments
be-
in the
Okay.
original series. He got moments too. Like there were times where he was just like a drunk and like dumb, but he also had good moments, so it was worth it, right?
Yeah, the first series was definitely much more balanced.
Yeah, but by
No, yeah,
far,
I watched the first 2 seasons and at the beginning of the third, but when they revived Dracula, I was like, I don't know.
by far the selling point was the animation, like absolutely
Of
beautiful.
course, of course. I
I-
still to this day watch the shorts, and I love watching the shorts with the music. I love the animation.
I have not seen Castlevania Nocturne. Abelio, you have.
Unfortunately,
I heard I I was excited at first. I was like, hey, more Castlevania. They're doing like they were gonna do a whole bunch of spin-off shows too. I kind of hoped that it wasn't like their multiverse thing, which was also really weird in season 3 or whatever. Like they were just gonna do weird stuff. But I was kind of excited for it.
None of that's in the actual story.
Yeah, and then I saw like every week it just got worse and worse, and I was like, okay, I'm not excited for Castlevania Nocturne. But they're adapting the best game, right? Symphony. Like I haven't played any of them, and I know that everyone loves Symphony of the Night. Like it's the best one.
They're adapting a few of the games, which is why it drives me insane. Like
Yeah.
imagine they're adapting Rondo of Blood, Symphony of the Night, Bloodlines, and they've even sprinkled in Harmony of Dissonance. So you have elements from 4 different games. Imagine taking like I don't know, like imagine taking like the whole of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and doing all 3 books into one story.
Yeah.
One big like 3-hour movie. And that's it.
I can imagine it. That's what they did with Wheel of Time. Season 2 was books 2 and 3 smushed
I was about to say.
together, and they decided to adapt a grand total of 1 scene from both books.
Yeah, pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing in Nocturne is accurate to the lore or the games. Like none of it.
Right. So, I assume Symphony of the Night is about like Transylvania and vampires and a vampire hunter named Richter who's cool.
Pretty much. So,
and I've heard that Castlevania Nocturne is about the slave trade.
Yeah.
What?
Why they
What?
They're
How did that get in there?
so like
well,
Rondo of Blood is Richter Belmont, and it's his main story. He goes in because his town gets attacked, and he has to go save his girlfriend, two other girls, and Maria. They're all going to be sacrificed. That's it. He runs in, kicks ass, and takes names.
It's 2D, right?
Yes. It's
Nah,
I think it's one of the last. I think it's one of the last 2D games. No, I take that back. It's the last of the retro styled Castlevania games.
Oh.
Nice.
You know, because Belmonts can't swim apparently.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, they one of the characters is Annette. Annette is Richter's girlfriend, and she's like, "You shouldn't have kidnapped me because you know my boyfriend's coming." Oh yeah, who's that? He's a Belmont. And then Dracula went, "Crap." And then they proceeded to get their, asses kicked. That's the story. But they decided, hey, let's take this story, which is 99% of the time set exclusively in Transylvania, and let's change Annette, the main girlfriend, to a former slave from the French colony of Saint Domain, and give her metal bending powers like Toph from Avatar. Also, she can remotely heal you by sewing your sleeve.
I saw that scene.
I
Also, it's about Native American oppression too.
Oh wow.
Yep. They slipped everything in
Europe, right?
Yep, because they decided, hey, 1792. This is right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the American country being made. Everything's racist. Hey, that Ulrock's vampire. He's not a vampire that took over Dracula's castle and could turn into this giant demon thing. Nah, let's make him a gay Aztec who fell in love with a Native American.
Wait. Go back a second there.
Yeah, before you choke on the chicken.
A
there.
gay,
Yeah, I was not kidding.
A gay Aztec that falls in love with a Native American.
You know what the Aztec did to gays, right? Yeah.
Oh,
there were no gays back then.
Oh no! Apparently all three of us are wrong because according to this guy whose source is totally trust him, bro. I don't know history. Apparently, the Aztecs never disemboweled and killed gays. Nope, not at all. Nothing about thousands of years or hundreds of years of history. Nope, none of that's true. It's all wrong.
But the thing is that I'm not even sure that they did that because I'm not even sure that being gay was a thing back then, right? It was not a thing. It was not a thing with the Aztecs
because you consider
they would consider to be like lost, and you have your wife and you had your kids and your whole goal in their community was to create a breed of strong warriors. Yeah. So why would you be banging? Why would you be them?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, but Alexander did the same thing. Alexander the Great was laying pipe just as much as the next guy.
Yeah,
the Romans did went for booty holes, right?
Yeah. Athens specifically was known for its.
But the Spartans didn't do that, right?
No.
That's what I mean.
The vast majority of them, no.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah. So imagine the Greeks were heathenist a little bit, but the Athens, the Spartans were warriors. So the Aztecs were the same. The Mayans, not even the Mayans. I've never heard in my 20-something years old that living in Mexico. Never heard something about a homosexual person in the history in the past, right? Right now it's like whatever, normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Google.
no kidding. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
were
Yeah,
a
they
bunch of
didn't like
bigots.
the home.
Yep,
The
they
homies.
did not care who you were. They didn't care if you were their own people. They sacrificed you on that altar all the same.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, nonetheless, Olrock's bed's a Templar, and he's one of the favorite characters in the show.
Wait, so for real, the vampire is Aztec?
Yeah.
The main
Yeah.
guy that was in the castle originally in the game, right?
Olrox was a boss in the game. Yes, Olrox was just a vampiric magician that had a demon form when you dropped his health to like 50%.
Yeah. Nice.
And now he's gay, has fantastic hair, fashion design, of course, and he turns into Quetzalcoatl. He turns
Wait,
into
what?
Turns into
Quetzalcoatl.
Wait,
Quetzalcoatl.
what?
I'm-
What
I-
the fudge?
Yeah, angry. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's 5 minutes into the show, and Richter's mom is kicking his ass, and then he's just like, "I'm gonna become a snaky boy." And then,
But he's a vampire.
no, he is literally he actually becomes the feathered serpent, and I'm just like,
Oh man.
all right, so he's not Romanian. Okay.
Oh, that is.
Never mind that, but the disrespect to the mythos. You know, the mythos of Quetzalcoatl is really important to a lot of people in Mexico. The
Mhm.
reason why many people are not complaining, and thank you for letting me know this, because probably we can maybe do a video about it, talking about the Quetzalcoatl thing, because it's a freaking disrespect that they put Quetzalcoatl. First of all, an Aztec fell in love with a Native American. Those guys will be killing them. So literally, will be ripping each other's scalps and hearts out. They will be
Mhm.
doing nasty things to each other
Well,
if they ever meet,
yeah.
which they never did. And this is something that is, well documented in history. They never met.
That's
Yeah,
super funny.
and the Aztecs will be really crazy with Quetzalcoatl. Like Quetzalcoatl will get them really, really nuts.
Yes, their
So-
diversity is just, hey, I heard that once.
He was the
put it on
warrior,
screen.
Quetzalcoatl was the warrior god, which will come
Mhm.
back from the dead, basically from Aztlan. The promised land. No, he will come back from Mictlan, which is the land of the dead, and will take them to Aztlan, which was the promised land of the Aztecs,
Mm.
which eventually will be considered Mexico. But that is not the part. Like they say, it's like a place with giants and things like that. A mystical place.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it was Jesus for them, because Quetzalcoatl was literally Jesus for them.
Well, that's actually what Mormons believe, that Quetzalcoatl is Jesus.
Definitely.
We
I
don't
mean-
talk about the Mormons.
I mean, I don't know if Jesus, but it's a Jesus-like figure.
Yeah.
Definitely. A uber human being, semi-god, probably.
Mark Clark says that he's going to stick with the anime that Nerd Boyle recommends. Yes, I swear I will eventually start that space opera, but I've got a lot of other things to finish first.
Mhm.
I was trying to Google a picture of the race swap in Castlevania Nocturne, and I found a bad take instead. And I really want to point this out because it's funny.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is on Reddit. The problem with Castlevania Nocturne isn't the race swaps or the inclusion of POC vampires. It's the fact that Nocturne doesn't really feel like Castlevania. Probably because of the race swaps and POC vampires.
It's definitely a factor.
It's a part of them, because if these special people were in Transylvania, where Castlevania is set on, they will go after these vampires of color. They will savage them, probably motivated by racial issues. They were not the most. And I have a wing, my chicken wing here to make the point.
Well, I wanted to show.
appreciate-
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go on. No,
Oh.
you were making a point.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's really funny that they say it's the POC vampires are not the problem. One of the funniest things about it is that the main character is white. His weapon is a whip, and one of the vampires is black.
Look, I'm sure
And they're
there
just
are
like,
loads of
"Yay,
other problems too, right?
Richter, yeah, whip the shit out of her. Oh, that looks bad, doesn't it?" Like,
Well, don't you were saying like there are scenes where like they just like remove his whip in the middle of a fight scene so that he doesn't have to do that, right?
it just drives me nuts.
Anyway, I want to pull up just a tiny segment from your video, which is wonderful. Everyone, check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gonna check it out after the stream.
Because,
definitely.
like I said, as ridiculous as the plot gets for the original show, the animation was always beautiful. And then I watched your video and I got really, really upset because this is the level of animation in the reboot.
Yeah, notice her. So for this here, Max,
Look at her eyes.
look at her face, and look at her hair that doesn't move.
Yeah. They're on like two different slates.
So this is clearly done with a blender, right? So they don't have to do the entire animation of the part. So they just have the movement and they don't move
Yeah.
the
A lot of this is like cheated 3D animation that they've
exactly.
slapped 2D pictures on top of.
And probably most of most of it is 2D pictures, and most of it is recycled assets from the other Castlevania. Seasons.
And let me be clear. I know a lot. Like, there are a lot of people pushing back negatively in the comment section of this video. I have no problem with liking the art style.
The art style
That
is
has
still good.
The art style has not been an issue.
Yeah.
The animation, things in motion that's a completely different problem.
Yeah.
And everyone's conflating it as the
the
same.
movement.
No, well, the art style is good because they're copying the good art style of the original series. How many? Because this originally was going to be handled by the same team, and then they all quit, right?
Half
Like,
of less than half of the team came back.
Yeah. Look at this clip of people running and tell me that this isn't from like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know you've really screwed up when your run animation looks worse than Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo look better.
Right?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo had better because you have hand drawn, and they will superimpose the hand drawings, and it was old school animation. I was gonna say this remind me of the Barbie movies. You know the awful 3D Barbie movies.
The 3D Barbie movies. Yeah.
Mhm.
Except I think those were better. But look at that.
Well, the animation was better because they were in the 2000. This is 2033.
Whoa, I actually just noticed something. Could you go back, please?
Okay.
Just a little bit.
To this?
When they're running.
Okay, we'll get there in a second.
Is the guy in the middle there? Is he actually in front of the girl behind him or behind her?
Both at the same time.
I was just looking at. Just looking at the legs. I can't believe I missed this.
Oh, there he goes in front.
Okay, no, he actually is in front. Okay. I was about to have a heart attack.
It looked like her dress was clipping in front of his legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's almost 2D. You barely can see it. Only the shadow and a little bit of the movement, maybe.
Yeah.
Mark Clark celebrates 12 months of membership, and he's got his nice golden sombrero for a full year. And thank you so much for the super chat, the $2. If they can hand draw Akira, what the hell is this stuff? Yeah, this is it's crazy. Technology has advanced so much that you don't have to hand draw everything anymore. Like, we should the quality should be so much higher than it is, right? With 3D animation, tools that we have with AI assistant. Like, hey, you don't even have to do the background. You can just focus on character movements, right? And AI is going to fill in the background for you.
Mhm.
We should be at an unrivaled level of animation right now, but we're not, because we don't care about the craft. We care about our ESG scores.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've actually got an idea for breaking down that video, because apparently this stuff goes way further back than any of us realize. Like, the seeds of everything that we're seeing now are older than Gamergate by far. But
How old were you? Do you think?
actually, DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, that score actually came into existence legally in 2009 or 2010.
Idea?
It comes
Mhm.
directly from communist China. the concept, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the name.
Because they created to, the demise of the West. That's in the Communist Manifesto, I think. I don't remember.
It goes back to the
Uh,
80s.
the other issue too is that we also do not make anything here anymore.
Right.
So I looked this up. One of the teams that does the animation, which has been doing animation for years, is actually Korean.
Hmm.
So most of the animation that you see in Nocturne, part of the reason why it's so choppy is because we actually outsourced like almost half or more of it to South Korea to handle for us. So whatever they had on the notes is whatever they did.
Which is ridiculous. Why not send it to India?
Oh yeah, how about this 3D? Speaking of bad shortcuts.
Elliot, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So the book here,
didn't
the
work.
book here,
Uh-huh.
Angry, is 2D, and they actually animated that, but they rendered the rest of the background.
Yeah,
Watch how choppy.
this is 3D with a 2D drawing on top of it of the book.
Oh my lord.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, that's all rocks, by the way.
Yeah. Is that a magic wand?
Looks like, yeah.
Is that a thermometer?
Looks like it goes somewhere. Elliot, get out of here.
All rocks is just like,
Close the
oh,
door.
I was looking for this.
Close the door.
Yeah, definitely Barbie is better. The Barbie animation is better. Jesus.
Dude, I had to watch I had sisters. I had to watch a lot of those Barbie movies, man.
I didn't notice. There's no text on the papers with the ink ball next to it.
Just like drawings, yeah, like
Yeah,
nasty
it's
drawings.
just
Not even
just-
complete.
just-
Oh,
just-
the other
just-
one, yeah.
yeah, just rip a 3D model from a game and just slap it on there. I don't care.
Yeah, and then you get these, and then these are their fight scenes, which are just it's literally just two layers of people posing. Like it's not dynamic at all.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh, go back.
Mm.
I didn't catch that. So okay. When I first watched this, and my lady was ready to rip her hair out too. So the reason I pointed this scene out is because the background is actually old school skybox
Yeah,
for like
they just
Game Boy, like
shifted
GameCube,
around.
yeah, exactly. So it's a big 3D skybox, like a 64 or GameCube game, and the characters are all a 2D layer in front. You playing this back actually showed something I missed. The rain effect is a 3D thing because the camera looks up following that bird and it comes straight down into the camera for a moment. That was actually interesting.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually not a bad little detail. But yeah, everything else here plays at like 5 frames a second.
But this made me so sad watching this because like the
show, yeah, Castlevania.
what it's compared to like was literally just beautiful.
Mhm.
And this is the fight scene.
Oh, what is his? Look at his arm. What happened to his arm? He's broken.
He looks He looks like he looks like Patrick Starr when he goes to do the open sesame on
Yeah.
Sandy's door.
I legitimately I don't even know what's happening in this fight scene. It's this is the equivalent of shaky cam, right? It's just things flashing in front of your face and hey, the fight's over now.
So many of the fight scenes are up close. Not even up close. They're too close. They are in your face, and you can't see what's actually happening. Right? Like I grew up watching all of the Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen. I watched all those movies. So when it comes to especially action in a movie or show, I want a clean, clear, wider shot so I can see and follow the choreography
Yes.
and go with the flow of the fight. And then the camera should move as though it's following the fight. Like that's how it should be.
Yeah.
They
Right.
just decided to put the screen in your face and then said that's not close enough. Zoom it in more, and you can't see half of what's going on.
Okay, I
Even the
literally just
Bruce
pulled up
Lee fights, bro.
I literally just pulled up a random fight scene from the original series, and we're gonna watch
here you go.
10 seconds of it and just look at the difference.
It comes in and then it zooms out.
You can follow, you know what's going on. You followed all of that action. That was dynamic. It moved around. That's all I want to show.
And when it has to
probably.
come back, comes back, and it stands still. When it has to move, moves. That's how you do movement in action film. Even the old school Bruce Lee films, they did like they brought people that really knew how to record fights. It was the whole
Right.
crew of Bruce Lee. He trained them to do that.
Or like this, right? You get the magic girl using her magic stuff she flies around the scene and you can see the action. You know what's going on. Like that's beautiful.
Never mind. You see the threads that form the fire. Literally, the single threads that form the fire. That's why the fire it has a realistic form. It doesn't look like a freaking ball. Literally like you see in video games that are 2D normally.
Okay.
And the environment in the background where Sypha was just fighting, it's like that was full 3D, but that was a 3D environment. It wasn't a flat 2D skybox. There's a very clear difference that even though it's the same technique, one had more time and effort behind it.
And one looks good.
It has a detailed design, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
It's not blurry to avoid showing the mistakes, right?
The level that they've fallen from it's very sad. So and that's not even getting into the ridiculousness of the story and I saw the people on Twitter the clips of just Richter is just an F up. He's completely effing useless. Why are they using the F word? I don't know.
That scene too where Annette is going to Black Panther Heaven to get some advice on the situation. She actually that quote. I actually have the screenshot on my phone. I just never posted it.
I believe you said it in your video. It happens right after he saves her life, right?
It's I think it's like the next episode, but yeah, that quote where she says the Belmont boy turned out to be effing useless. That shot was actually screenshot and posted by the Castlevania team, and said that even in a fictional world or whatever, the Belmonts are being humbled. It's like, you're the official post and you made this?
It was a promotional post on Twitter. Yeah,
exactly. They took it down immediately because everyone was like, "No way, you're going to destroy Castlevania! Like you haven't even gone up yet."
Oh my lord, man!
Yeah, it's really really bad.
And the funniest thing is that
sad.
Yeah, I used to play the games when I was a kid. Literally, I didn't have much video games. I had the PlayStation. And it was in Chinese, probably. I didn't know what the heck everything was saying. I didn't know any English, so don't remember the titles of the games that I played. But I remember the basic, thing that you are a vampire fighting other vampires.
Yeah, they just decided, hey, let's take Castlevania, destroy it, avoid the fines for ESG scores, and yeah, no one will be the wiser. Except that that's not the case. It didn't even Nocturne didn't even open in the. I think it opened in Netflix's top like 10. It was like 7th or 8th place on the day of it coming out.
The original
And
show was number one.
it's already dropped out. Like it's
The
already out of
original
the top
was
10.
number one for several weeks, and if
For
not,
a
it was number
long
2 or
time.
3.
Yeah, Castlevania is a long-standing and very popular franchise, and Nocturne decided that I want to know the inner workings behind things and the choices, because there's no way that these people were like, hey, sure, why not? We're gonna destroy Castlevania and everyone's gonna be okay with it, you know?
I believe truly that there's some people involved in this show that work in freaking, what is it, the Witcher Blood Origins. Estamos at the same level of writing. The F in this and F in that. They think that kids use those words, and they think that they can pander to those groups. That's why they always say, no, this is for kids. No, this is not for you. This is for children. It's like,
God,
when you
I
do
hate-
a 200 million show, when you do a 100 million show, this product is cheaper because animation, obviously. But when you do this kind of shows or movies like Snow White or Little Mermaid, and they say it's for children, and they complain about people criticizing these shows, and that's one of the main things that they say. It's animation. Why are you, quite criticizing animation? It's like,
I've I hate these kinds of arguments that they always
Yeah.
produce, because it's never a matter of trying to have a conversation. It's about shutting down the conversation.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
it's you know it, you're
It's about ending criticism. Yes.
exactly, you're racist because you hate the show because it has black people. It's like, I don't
Right.
really care too much that certain characters have been race swapped. I care that the characters are so terribly written. And not only this, let's talk about the respect part, like what you mentioned earlier, Angry. This show takes place on the story takes place almost 100% exclusively to Transylvania, right? Like, you travel between different regions and everything else. Dracula's castle is Castlevania. It is in there. It is based on that. These characters are all white. Imagine if in 20 years somebody decided to rewrite Roots, but Kunta Kinte was now a white guy named Bob. It's like they burn down Hollywood for this one, but it's totally okay when they do it.
Imagine Kunta Kinte name is Jim Crow now in the future. That could happen. I'm not gonna lie, that could happen. The thing is that my issue, Jesus, the freaking allergies, man.
What's crazy is
My issue, yeah, sorry.
they
My
would-
issue with the, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
no, you go. You go.
Thank you. My issue with the race swapping is the racism that lies behind it, right? And that's the normalization of things that is just okay. We only care about the race of the character, so that's the only thing that is interchangeable. That's the only interchangeable characteristic that we care to change about the character. Or they make it worse, they make it worse written, which is like, okay, why are you trying to infer or try to hint that the character that you race swap to black is dumber than the character that was white? No, right? But they do these kind of things unconsciously because they are subconsciously, because they are subconsciously racist. And most of the people that are behind these decisions, and I don't care about the race of the people, I don't think people can be racist just because of the race they have. But it's a coincidence that most of the people that are used tokenization of black characters and things like that are whites. People are white, and the whitest mother lovers that you're gonna meet in your life, right, from Hollywood. It's like, what are they trying to use? They're trying to use minorities. They're trying to use them to sell and to have a shield that you said, if you criticize this show, you're racist. But no one is as racist as the people that do the actual race swaps.
Mhm. They care so little, and they don't realize that many of the things that they claim to care about, they know so little about any of the source material that
making him Quetzalcoatl.
exactly. That's
They-
one good example.
They didn't do any research.
Mm-hmm. Or here, they claim that if any black character were to be changed, it would be detrimental, and they need to destroy that art, right?
Right.
Well, Jurassic Park race swapped a black guy, and no one complained.
The Who have what now?
So in the original Jurassic Park movie, in the novel, Robert Muldoon, the guy who gets eaten by the raptor, he's an African game warden. They made him white in the movie. No one complained.
Yeah,
Not
they
a
made it
peep,
white.
Not a
Woke
nothing.
reasons, right? Woke reasons back then were that they were not woke, they were liberal, and they would say, "Oh, let's not make the black guy, a
And he
freaking
lives, by the
warlord."
way, he lives in the novel, so it wouldn't have actually happened at all in the way that the movie did. They made him white, and then he got killed. But yeah, no, he's actually awesome because he's the one who tranquilizes the Rex in the novel. Like, he's a badass. They did all of that away, and they totally did a disservice to him from the novel to the film.
To the film.
But you're not going to hear a peep about it because these people can't read.
They can't write either. But Mr. Gamer is really he hits the nail in the coffin. Yeah.
Better be real careful with that these people modifier there.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
You mean leftists, right? Not.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but Mr. Gaming says it all there in the chat. Why even backlash or race swap established characters to begin with? Yeah. If it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. It matters the most to them.
Race swapping for the sake of race swapping is inherently racist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If it's for the sake of a performance, like with Nick Fury, race has nothing to do with his character. Yeah. And when they did it, they didn't make it part of his character. It was solely the performance, and it worked.
Yeah, there's a difference between putting Nick Fury being a strong character, regardless of his race, having, the way Samuel L. Jackson usually talks, and not having him say, yo, man, what's up, my N-word, things like that, that they woke.
If they did it today, that's what it would be.
Exactly. If it was way more woke, like today, Marvel would be like, oh, this guy has to be from the hood.
It's only cool when Marvel does it. No, there's a clear difference. We used to get race swaps like this a lot, but it was about the performance, right? Like it doesn't matter. But when we're casting, like when we go into the casting intent on changing the race, that's racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that what like Anthony Mackie had a point that was very similar to this? That this isn't no longer we're no longer in an era of action heroes and action stars. It's like we're about characters now, and it's like, okay, well, to add on to his point, if we're going to shift to the characters, then it's a matter of getting the characters right. So if you change and alter the characters, then they're no longer the same character that we know and love. It's like imagine if they decided in 10 years that they wanted to reboot Blue Beetle and Jaime Reyes is no longer Blue Beetle. Now it's like Tyrone. It's just like everyone would probably lose their minds.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, no, they wouldn't, because they can do that. They interchange them. There was a funny thing that I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Robin Hood. Robin with the Y.
I
Robin in the Hood.
To get into it. Yes.
Yeah, Robin in the Hood. It doesn't really matter, but the guy that makes the show is basically really racist. He's racially insensitive. Insensitized. No, insensitive. Insensitivized. It's an insensitive. Incentivized. Exactly. Freaking English is hard sometimes. Incentivized by race. So he said, no, we have to make Robin Hood more modern, but the girl has to be, but it has to be a woman, and it has to be black or Latina. So it's like that's all they see, our
Right.
people
That's
or
all
the
that
people of
matters
color.
to
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
They,
That's
they
all they
don't
see.
they don't care about the story. They care about the points.
Yeah, let's make it not white. Yeah.
And these people will bash in any way possible. There was somebody who commented negatively. He's just like, "Oh, you think that this is really bad?" And of course, it comes from an idiot who thought Sound of Freedom was good. And I was like, "Ah, we found one. Call the FBI."
Oh yeah. That's a
Yeah.
weird hill for people to want to die on.
Right?
I got a lot of people calling me a perito, and I say that I add the ito at the end because I don't want to say the word, perito. Because I said that it was a really important film, and I was defending it multiple times. People came out after me saying me that, and it's like, why? What? How? Like it's like saying a coyote is not arguing about the safety of the chickens. The mother loving coyote wants to go and mother all the chickens.
Oh man. At one point this was a good segue, but we kept talking. But I thought that this was a really funny bad take in regard to Spider-Man 2. I think we were talking about how just nothing's enjoyable anymore because again, they're not focused on storytelling. They're not focused on the product. They're focused on the message.
Pandering.
And you, MX, have you played Spider-Man yet?
I made a video about it. Yeah, you had to check it out.
Yeah. I saw the video. I haven't had time for it yet.
Don't worry, don't worry.
But yeah, I've heard they've introduced a whole bunch of woke stuff, which I don't even want to get into. But I thought that this headline was hilarious. The lead writer for Spider-Man 2 says that Miles and Peter succeeded because they're relatable. It's hard to identify with a billionaire.
What kind of argument is that?
How many Batman games are there?
Yeah, the reason why people identify with Batman is because he's a freaking orphan.
You don't look. I get that there is some truth in yeah, sometimes it's nice to be able to identify with a character in a book or a movie or a TV show. But that's not the reason that we read or play games. Right? For the most part, we play for escapism. We get to for a second pretend that we're a billionaire, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Not Kevin Feige. You're right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, not Kevin Feige. Absolutely nailed it. Tony Stark. You can't tell me there was not a single there wasn't a single theater that had a completely dry face at the end of Endgame.
No. Look, I don't want to play. I don't want to step into a video game and play an overweight guy who gets winded going up the stairs. Like that doesn't sound fun to me.
It kind of does sound funny.
Well, obviously, it's obviously
like
not
game
building
design.
into stamina, my guy.
Imagine a isekai where you start the game with pretty realistic part of the game. You're like just a guy having an awful life, and then suddenly you go to an isekai. I don't know why they haven't made a freaking game of an isekai. They just made anime. But yeah, I love isekai.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, isekai. Oh, sorry. Isekai is
anime?
those stories, the kind of anime where you are
Oh,
drawn into another world and you have a better a different life.
It's the trope, right? It's the
the trope, exactly. The trope is isekai. Yeah, isekai literally means not of this world or different from Earth, I think, in Japanese.
portal fantasy. Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. Sekai is the world in Japanese. You learn something every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you Castlevania'd out?
I can honestly keep going like all night if you want.
I mean, we can talk just a little
well,
bit about Loki. Do you have
yes,
more? Do you have more bad takes?
let's talk about Loki for a little bit. Jared, I don't know if you're still listening. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Have you watched Loki?
I have. I watched all 3 of them.
Nice. Let me know. Let me know what you think about it.
You're the only one.
Really?
You're the trooper.
I'm the only one?
We all tried.
I did my homework.
Do you know the song "The Trooper"? You are that guy. You are him. You are him.
I liked it. I actually really liked it. I thought it was good.
Oh my god!
I
what
couldn't.
kind of weed do this?
I watched the first episode 2 weeks ago, right? And we talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
I started the second episode this week, and I fell asleep. I don't fall asleep during movies and TV. I honestly, they kept going. They just kept. None of it made sense. It was a bunch of just like mumbo jumbo jargon about weird MacGuffins and stuff that weren't even thought out, and they were just talking about stuff. I was not into it, and I couldn't do it. And I fell asleep, and I woke up at the end of the episode where Sylvie was there, and she was really ugly for some reason. Like she is not a bad looking actress, and they went out of their way to make her look homely, and that was
isn't
confusing.
She, like, older now? I thought that was it. It's like she's just older.
She's supposed to be in 3 different times. I don't know. Like she's old. Like she has old Sylvie and then older Sylvie and then young Sylvie. You know, like regular Sylvie, which is working on McDonald's. I think I don't know. It's weird.
You don't like McDonald's? No, I don't.
No, it's poison. Really expensive in Mexico.
No, another YouTuber made a great point. The McDonald's tie-ins just made him nostalgic for when McDonald's tasted good because it was retro McDonald's.
Yeah, I would say that I think episode 2 was a little slower, so I get that you would probably fall asleep.
Well, the first, everyone's ugly now. They take the entire first half of the episode. They kept talking about someone who hadn't appeared in season 2 at all, and I had no idea who they were talking about.
Was it He Who Remains?
No. I know, He Who Remains is King. They were saying Miss Minutes is working with this person.
Oh yeah, because she was in season 1, but yeah, she actually comes up in season 3. I mean, in episode 3.
Who?
It's the girl in season 1 that was in the office that
the black one.
And
I don't know who you're talking about.
The black woman.
Yeah.
The black woman, the black strong woman.
What's her name?
That's her character.
They said it like 30 times without showing your character.
Never mind. She's mixed. She's mixed.
Ren
race.
something?
Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer, yep.
That's her name?
Yeah.
They all I know is episodes 2 started. They said Renslayer about 50 times, and I fell asleep. I had no idea what was going on.
I'd forgotten.
Once they say Renslayer, and I thought that they were like
that was it. I was thinking. I kept every time they said it, I thought Renfield, and I was like, I don't know who I don't know.
Oh
what this
no,
is
that's
about.
actually her name, Ravona Renslayer.
Yeah.
That's her last name, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the third episode was all right. There's definitely they've definitely wrote it in a way where you're like, okay, like what's gonna happen? Like where is this gonna go? So I think it's good. It's definitely kind of kept me questioning, where the story is going and how they're doing it. But I've enjoyed it so far. The first episode I really liked actually because I felt like it was fast paced. There were some comical
What?
parts where I was like, okay, yeah, like I
Do-
liked where they brought in the guy from
Right.
Goonies.
That was the only that's the only reason I got through episode 1 was because Short Round is awesome.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, and he's done a great
Um,
job so far.
for me, that was the most painful parts were the humor of the show, like
Yeah,
the humor.
the rest of episode 1 was just techno mumbo jumbo jargon about you can't cross the streams and you have to jump into the infinity pool of the thing and then pull someone out, and
Yeah, it's
none of
just
it mattered.
it's bull crap, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't make any sense.
They sent they sent Loki off on his little mission, which was extremely important. They said you have to get here and you have to get phased, or you will die. You will cease to exist, and it's very important that you go there. And the only thing you care about is getting phased or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he shows up and just walks around the halls looking around. Oh no, I can't find a phaser.
Well, I thought that was actually he wasn't. He was running. He was running trying to find a phaser. Like he was seriously like
There
he
was there was literally a 5-minute scene of him just slow-mo, just walking.
Bro, he had a
No, he was
phaser
not
right
walking.
before he went into that thing.
Yeah, why didn't he
He
take
had a
one with him?
phaser and he put
Well,
it
because
aside.
it didn't go with him.
Uh-huh.
He watched
Why
it
did his
fall.
clothes went with him? No, he put it aside.
No. He's holding it, and then literally he like does the thing, and he warps back to the future, and it shows it drop, and literally Owen's like, oh shoot, like he's
Yeah,
gonna
but
need this.
then if that's the case, why didn't his clothes drop to the floor? And why
I
was
know
he
there's
naked?
always you can always ask those sorts of questions, but those are the things like why are the Hulk's shorts the only things that ever survive, right? It's like things like that, you know. I mean,
I would have been scarred for life if they
yeah,
didn't.
I mean,
We all wanted the meme in real life.
but anyway, so I really liked it because yeah, like he got in the future and
yeah.
he's like, oh crap, like first he's trying to orient himself.
But
So
there
he's
are
like, oh, where
smarter,
am I?
like smarter movies and shows like the Fantastic Four, where they actually address these kind of things, and they say, "Oh, if you go invisible, if you have to get naked, and your clothes will burn, and things like that." That was Fantastic Four 1, top notch 2000 film for superheroes. In that era, everything was trash, except for Spider-Man. But the Fantastic Four, the first Fantastic Four, really good in my opinion. I mean, at least doing what it wanted to do, right? But
I
yeah,
think-
Loki.
The other thing I noticed
Not
with
that bad.
episode 1 is that the way that I saw it is he happens to go back.
Question, why did they make Thor nude randomly?
That's true.
Oh,
That's
man.
true. Right, but there's always those.
No, I
sorts of
get it.
questions.
Yeah, I get that there's
But-
questions. And most times good writers ask those questions before they write them down.
Yeah, I agree, but still, it's like
I
it
get
could be that anything just like tied to him, or I don't know.
It's
But-
not. I'm not saying it's like the game breaking complaint, but yeah.
Well, but yeah, so you were talking about how he's kind of just like, oh, I can't find this stick, but like I thought it showed that he was like literally he goes to the future,
Walking.
and then he was like, shoot, where am I? So he had to reorient himself and be like, am I in the past again? And then he realized, no, I'm in the future. So then he had to go, and he's like, oh well, where is this stick? Where can I find a stick to, you know?
Can't get a stick.
And I never understood why even pruning him will work like that.
Well, I
That's
think
it's not phasing. It's pruning.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the idea
It's
was
techno. It's
basically
mumbo jumbo. It's because they have to prune him so that they can pull him back, and it's silly.
Yeah, I think the basic what I gathered was that like if he's existing in several timelines, he's got to essentially eradicate himself in all those other timelines to make sure that he's only in the present, sort of thing.
Sure, whatever.
But he was always in other time. Always in every time he was on another time. That's why there was Crocodile Loki and Kid Loki and female Loki.
Oh, I know, but not him particularly. That version of
Oh,
Loki. So he had to be pulled back to the present because he was going back to the present. I mean, going to the past and the future. So he had to pull himself back to the present by getting rid of himself in the past and the future.
so Sylvie. Okay, so old Sylvie. Have they still explained old Sylvie in the episode
Well, that's the
3?
thing. I don't know. I don't know
I
if
don't
it was
care.
really old Sylvia. Like I haven't really noticed. She definitely is not as attractive because I think she's trying to go for that like '80s style hairdo and
Yeah.
stuff. And
It's
I'm like,
just-
yeah, that's just not an attractive look on her. But I don't know. I haven't seen any old or young or anything like that. I just noticed one Sylvie that
No, no,
is,
no. It's like no. It's like old Sylvie is not supposed to come yet. Maybe since episode
oh
4 and
okay.
further. But old Sylvie is supposed to be the leader of a rebellion. With all the other the center. What is the office called?
The
the
TVA.
TVA.
The TDA, exactly.
Okay.
All I know is that Marvel has systematically just destroyed every interesting character left in the MCU, and I just can't bring myself to care about him anymore.
You know,
Like I'm not invested in a single MCU character.
I it took me a while to even want to watch this one. This show. I was like, oh, I gotta watch Loki now. Like I don't want to watch Loki.
You
But-
realize,
But it's not.
yeah.
It hasn't been that bad. I think it's been okay.
Did you realize in episode 1 of season 2 they completely eliminate the stakes from season 1?
How
Season
so?
1 ends with, oh no, this is a big cliffhanger. We changed the past and now we have to deal with the ramifications. We have to deal with the rippling effect. Now Kang is in power. And then episode 1 is, nope, not anymore. That was just a different time. Now it's gone.
Yeah, but that's what you get when dumb people that are not smart try to write about timelines and time travel and things of that sort, multiverse. It doesn't work because they don't know anything about basic. I don't know, a basic common sense. Goddamn it.
Yeah, time travel is always difficult. Like I will give them that. Like it's always difficult because there's always going to be questions, right? Like for example, I watched this time travel movie just the other day called Somewhere in Time, right? But it's literally like there's always questions because there's got to
Christopher
be
Reeves, right?
What?
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
It is. It's a
I'm
great
sorry.
movie.
I'm sorry. Are you about to rip on Somewhere in Time? You
No, all I'm
heathen?
saying is that there's
Compared to Loki,
Go screw yourself.
like for
Okay?
example, where does the watch come from? If she
It
gives
comes
it to him,
from the
then he gives it to
past.
her. Like, where does it come from originally?
Oh my gosh!
The store
It's
where you buy
called
it.
a
Yeah,
paradox,
but who buys
Jared.
it? 'Cause he gave it to her, and then she gave it to him later.
You dense fool, ripping on Somewhere in Time. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, answer the question. Answer the question. Where does the watch start? Who
It
first
was-
gets the watch?
Okay, to quote Kate and Leopold, it was always a pretzel. Okay,
That's a great movie too.
what comes first, the egg or the chicken?
Yes, but with time travel, there's always was it the chicken or the chicken? Like it's like
oh,
so.
man,
I'm just saying that like
yeah.
time travel is always a tricky thing to resolve because
Yeah, but definitely
we
is
as
smarter
humans,
ways to that. Yeah,
we
but there's
can't
smarter ways.
comprehend this circular idea, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
Somewhere in
There's
Time.
always a first and always an end.
Yeah,
Fantastic movie, man.
It is. It's a romance.
Some might call it a timeless classic.
Yeah, I definitely love it. But there's a lot in that movie where you're like, this is just kind of weird. Like he just walks up to her and like, hi. and then they like automatically start falling in love, and I'm like, okay, all right, sure, like.
Yeah, that's what I like
It's a great movie,
from
really.
Butterfly Effect.
Jared
Yeah.
doesn't. Jared doesn't believe in love.
I think
I
Butterfly Effect is the
definitely do.
best, maybe the best done regarding time travel. It was
There's a
such
lot.
an
Like
interesting concept.
the other one that I really like is oh shoot, what's it called? It's about like a bunch of archaeologists that basically
Timeline.
the timeline. That's a great one too. That I think they actually do pretty good with time travel. But all I'm trying to say is that time travel is just always a hard thing to do story wise because there's always going to be something hard to. I mean, there's always going to be an out of oh hey why is this happening or why is that happening. But have you guys watched? So you guys didn't even watch the third episode yet, then, right?
No, I also saw the scene where Loki and Morbius were eating pie,
Mm-hmm.
and I it was just so.
I wanted
boring.
to die of boredom. I literally wanted to
But I did
die.
hear that in episode 3 that Jonathan Majors gives a commanding performance. I haven't seen it, but I really hope it was better than his performance in that candid video that he took right before his court date. Did you guys see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, right before he was gonna go to court, there someone filmed him like breaking up a street fight.
Oh no.
I've been trying to find the video. It is so bad. It's so fake. It's hilarious. He steps in. Come on, guys.
Probably
You
what
don't want to
probably
be scrapping. Like
probably the reason why you cannot find the video is because they had to pull it off. They had to pull it out, so
Yeah.
they only had the pictures.
I love
So you
this.
think that is real? Yeah,
his new
Jesus.
PR team is Nathan Fielder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought I could find the video. It's so bad. It's literally
There you go.
there it is. So funny. I can't believe you haven't seen this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
he
Yeah, be
So
careful with the
Yeah.
actual.
he comes in and he's oh man, it's just
it's your cue. Come from off screen.
yeah no like it's like beat by beat. I should share the audio, huh?
Yeah.
No, don't show the audio. I want to see the image because I'm really curious. Where is he even coming from? Literally, like,
Here you go.
was he in the streets? Where is he coming from?
Oops. No, he just walked. They're fighting, and he just walks up.
Yeah, but this is a party
Hey.
though. Like, where is he coming
Hey.
from?
Hey. Also, what there's just a camera there conveniently, and it's so.
Is
Is
that
it not a
marking tape
girl?
on the ground to know where their cues are?
Yeah.
Yes. It's a party though.
Like that little yellow strip that's right there.
It's you just gotta go watch it on your free time. It's very bad acting.
Well,
There's
I thought
no-
the third episode actually was good because, like, I mean, okay, I thought the acting was good. There was like his character was pretty good. He has like a stammer, right? So he has a hard time
Okay.
speaking. But the interesting thing is that like literally the whole thing in episode 3 is that they basically are like, oh, okay, so they're trying to have this guy basically like they're trying to intervene in a variant of Kane so that he can like restart his war or whatever, right?
Who's they? I don't.
Or
I remember now.
it's kind of like they're afraid that he's gonna be the destruction, right? Like he's gonna create this destruction. And so what's interesting though is that literally most of these guys are like, oh, we actually need him to help us solve this problem in the TVA, but They know how bad of a guy, the other version was, or at least Loki does. And so the Lokis are they're torn between, look, we can kill this variant too and make sure that this never happens again. But literally the other variant's like, look, you don't know me. I'm different. Like, I'm not the same guy. That was another guy in a different timeline. Like, I have just as much choice to make. I have just as much agency to make different choices. And I actually thought that was really good to say, hey, look, like, even with all of this time travel and all of these things where it's like, hey, what's going to happen? Is this the villain? Like, is he going to be the one that destroys everything? And maybe he does. Maybe he turns around and he
right. This is
ends up
not
being
the same.
villain.
This is a different variant. It's not the same Jonathan Myers that assaults women. Majors.
Yeah.
Majors.
Allegedly.
Right?
But I thought it was actually really good. Like,
sorry, it's not the same Jonathan Majors that allegedly assaults women on camera.
So that was my thought. I actually enjoyed the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It
do have a
can't for
question.
me.
Yeah, what?
Apparently there's a scene that like sort of redeems Kang. I heard that it was actually like the best scene in the show, where Loki's just like losing his mind, like, you don't understand, like he's going to destroy us, it's unstoppable.
I think that's kind of what Jared was talking about.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe that's it. I haven't seen it. That's what I was asking, because apparently, like, this actually like sort of makes up for Kang getting beaten by Paul Rudd.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I feel like that's kind of where they were going, where it's like, look, this guy really can destroy everything, and they literally send it back to the TVA, which, it has its risks because he could help, but he could also mess everything up, right? And so it was interesting to see, hey, look, like, yeah, maybe this character that in other shows or in other movies or in other episodes of this particular show has had different motives. And so maybe, just because he's an alternative. But it's also interesting too, because that episode, you see like little glimpses of who he is, right? So there's moments where you're like, oh, this is a really good guy. Like, he's sensitive, he's kind, like, he's caring. And then there's other ones where, like, he
was handsome, he
kind
was
of backstabs.
kind.
Yes, of course. So yeah, but then he like backstabs people, and he's all about like deceiving people. So that's where you're like, okay, even in this particular episode, you have seen him deceive stuff. So that's why even those words that I was just telling you about, like, is he sincere with those words, or is that just trying to evade his death, basically? Right? Because he's literally about to get zapped, and so is he just saying this so that he can get out of that particular circumstance, or is this how he really feels? And that's what's I thought has been interesting about the show so far, is to see that sort of progression.
Okay,
cool.
So yeah,
I don't know. I might watch it eventually. I don't know.
But I agree. Like, I literally only watched it because I knew I thought we were all watching it. We were gonna talk about it.
I tried
to watch it 3 times. The second episode is just unbearable. Maybe the third one is better. Maybe I just skip the second one.
You had to get past the first. Like, they eat cake and
there's something happens in the second one. Can I just skip it and just start
they
the third
eat
one?
pie and talk about their feelings, and this is Loki. Like, what is?
Well, but that's what's kind of funny, is because then later, like, they talk about a strategy in that episode about how they're going to use Loki as how he is the god of mischief to get the information he needs. So I thought it was really good. They were talking about their plan over a piece of key lime pie. Like,
but the god of mischief gets bested by a random guy.
He doesn't get bested. See, you fell asleep. You didn't even finish the episode.
I just don't. It's not working for me.
because basically the end of that episode is they end up pruning all of the timelines.
Oh, so they do a genocide.
Yeah. So, and that's the
Wait,
thing.
they
Then they're
wipe
like,
out
shit,
the
like,
timelines?
how did this happen?
Yeah. They do it. Yeah.
Who
and
pruned them?
Well, it's the bad lady is doing it, and the black lady is the one saying, "Oh no, we can't do this."
Yep.
Because she's the moral arbiter of the show.
Yeah, not even genocide, like multi,
Yeah, well, it's
like multiversal
multi It's
exterminium.
multicide.
Multicide, yeah. Jesus Christ.
So they're
Yeah.
worried about Kang, and this person's over here literally wiping out entire universes.
Uh-huh.
Well, because that's
well, it's because they were
before.
they had already been doing it, right? That's what they were doing before.
Yeah.
They were doing a genocide. Anytime someone made a choice, they would go and destroy that entire universe.
Yep.
And then they stopped doing it, and so now they're just they're just following orders, man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. Well,
Like,
and that's kind of where
you know
again,
who's-
it's like, hey, is this something you should be doing or not, right? And so it's like one person thinks that's how they should be doing it, and the other person's like, no, that's not how we do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing with the TVA, the whole thing with deleting timelines, I don't think they get it either. Like, I because if they delete every timeline, like, I don't know, man. It has to be impossible to delete how many timelines without somebody actually realizing, or somebody doing, or somebody in those timelines having the technology to stop it. It's just wild, man.
I was going to bring this up a bit later, but it's kind of relevant now. It's just the fact that they didn't think about any of this. None of this was planned. They're flying by the seat of their pants. I saw this article today, how the stupidest idea from Marvel's writers ended up in Avengers Endgame. And they're talking about their decision to go with time travel.
Oh, yeah.
And literally, it's eye-opening. They said, oh, this scene sort of mirrors, we were sitting in a room trying to figure out how to get out of the corner we wrote ourselves in at the end of Infinity War. And entertaining the idea of a time machine, and then saying, oh, that's really stupid. We can't possibly go with time travel. And then we realized, hey, in the Ant-Man, we kind of have a way that we could do time travel, and it could work.
Kinda. If you believe the science.
They wrote Infinity War.
I heard that before.
And made it before ever thinking about how to finish the next movie.
I don't get why they even
that is insane.
Yeah. I don't even know what they even what they even did the Infinity Wars thingy. Like, why even? Like, you were at the hype of the entire Marvel Universe movement. You were putting movies out every year, literally. Doctor Strange had came out and it was really good, and all these movies, that were introducing the characters. And they put the first two Avengers, and they did really, really, really freaking good. I don't know why they decided to, hey, let's just end it now. Like, let's just end it in 2 years now. Like, 3 years from now, it's gone.
Because they weren't interested in their interesting characters anymore. They wanted the Marvels, baby.
And that's a real shame.
They literally ended the Infinity War and said, hey, you have to wait a year to see Endgame. How you gotta wait an entire year to see the rest of this movie, and it's only gonna make sense if you go watch the Marvels, or Captain. If you go watch Captain Marvel in between.
Yeah, which obviously had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
you want to see something else that's really stupid?
Yeah.
If you might find it if you look it up. They are actually I've heard rumors they're floating rebooting the MCU.
An entire reboot, yeah. With
why?
Secret Invasion or
nobody is gonna care about it. Nobody is gonna literally nobody's gonna care about it.
Yeah, we're all burnt out from all of that.
Honestly, I'd be okay with it. Like that is the only thing that could get me reinvested in the MCU.
But they will make it worse.
If they burned it and started from scratch, if they fired everyone like they're doing with Daredevil. They fired the entire team.
Oh no.
After filming 9 episodes.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
They filmed
much?
9 episodes before
Millions.
anyone looked at it and said, this isn't working. You
Wow.
literally had Charlie Cox going on Twitter saying, hey guys, don't get your hopes up. This is a different thing.
Jesus.
Man,
If
that's
they
brutal.
just burn it to the ground and do this for all of the MCU and just start fresh, maybe, I know, I would really like to see it.
I don't know. You
Maybe
have
do
too much
Ultimate
hope.
Marvel. I
You
would
have
freaking love
too much hope in them. I believe that. I don't
the believe it's
show
gonna
that
happen.
they just scrap. Imagine this: they scrap the show, and now they're gonna do a different show. Maybe this one is even worse than the one they just scrapped because they're gonna have less time to actually write it and record it and produce it and stuff like that. Because they had to start delivering those shows. Echo is not gonna draw a single 1,000 viewers.
Honestly, I mean, I'd do a better job. I wouldn't be the first pick. I wouldn't be great, but I'd do better than what we have.
I would gladly take the hiring job and then quit, take the money, and run so I could tell Netflix I would fix Castlevania for them.
Oh,
You know,
man.
there's this is something I considered a while ago, is like what would have happened if they didn't just jump straight into phases 4, 5, and 6 and just launch those right out. Like I hate that they jumped the gun so bad, because all they had to do was take the like phase 4 should have been a phase of recovery. Like everyone's reacting to, oh, everyone blinked out of existence for 5 years,
That's
and
kind of
now they're back.
That
That
would
would be
what
wild.
WandaVision started as. Honestly, I was really intrigued with WandaVision for the first half. I was like, this is interesting. I'm curious as to what it was, and it ended up being just a complete nothing burger and horrible. But it did feel like a recovery.
Until the end. They'll
Yeah.
never know what you sacrificed for them. Like, screw off. Like,
You held them
you
hostage.
tortured
You
people.
held children hostage, and
Yeah.
then Two Broke Girls has the audacity to arrest the only guy making good decisions. You're going straight to jail, mister. Are you kidding me? Wanda should have been assassinated a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. they
Imagine
turned
the-
her into a
imagine-
psychopath.
Imagine if she was
Narquito.
Imagine if it actually was Agatha all along. If Wanda was under a spell, right? Then, yeah! I love that they wrote a song that is just objectively false. Like, what did Agatha do?
You know what would have been really interesting? Like, instead of that stupid What If series, what if they did like
What
a
if
series that
Marvel was good?
yeah, they just have like good writers walk in and they're just like, and here you go, we fixed it. Have fun.
What
would be
if
the
we
shortest
didn't
episode
do
ever.
Captain Marvel?
I was thinking about like, so like everyone disappeared, and at the end of Infinity War, we see everything like just going completely tits up, right? Cars crashing, like Kobe Bryant's helicopter comes tumbling through the city, and it would be like if they did a small series that was based in the world to help set up a phase 4 where everyone's like, oh, everyone comes back and now we have to figure out all of this. Let's start small. Here's an idea. You're flying on a plane, and then out of nowhere,
Half of the
somebody
plane
notices
disappeared.
that no, here, let's go
Dude,
worse.
that's what they did. Done. They did that in Left Behind. Okay, you want to see that again?
I would, if they had taken the time to build up the
Or
world,
better
yeah,
yet,
I
the
would.
Langoliers. Have you seen the Langoliers?
Yeah. The meatballs with teeth.
I can't tell you how much money I would pay to see like a modern woke adaptation of the Langoliers. That would be so funny to watch.
Yeah. So, like, imagine you're flying on that plane, and then
Yeah.
out of nowhere, half those people disappear. And that's scary enough. Oh no, everyone's ash. And then you run to the cockpit because the plane's descending, and then you find that there's no pilots, and you crash into the ocean, and you are left in an airplane at night.
Turns into Lost.
No, just a shark attack survival story in the middle of the MCU. It's like, oh no, where are our heroes? What's happening? And then let's take that scale up. Half the planet just disappeared, right?
Yeah, and we just don't address
how
it.
about those
ever.
power vacuums? Every government that fell, every cartel that just stood up and took control of this section of Ecuador, or how bad would the wars in Eurasia be going right now?
And instead we
everyone
got
tops back.
Captain America and Winter Soldier, where basically all they address is but there are squatters who were living in those people's houses while they were gone, and now they're back and they're sad.
God, they
have
could have done
squatters'
so
rights,
much,
guys. You have to do better.
They could have done so much, and they threw it all out the window because they had to get right back into making big movies with stupid characters. They destroyed
that's
Black
an
Widow.
Avengers level event. Just picking up the pieces, right? The power vacuums that you're talking about, like the drug lords who are going to take the opportunity to seize power, and introduce Doctor Doom, picking up the pieces in a bad way.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been
his
so.
ego.
Like, I just thought of that. That would have been the best thing ever.
His whole ego is about he's going to be the one to save everyone.
That would be
that's actually it.
Oh! That would have been so good.
Get out of your mom's closet and start writing.
This is my closet, okay? Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that would have been absolutely perfect. Yes.
Oh man.
But they didn't do it. They didn't care. Let's get to the big movies. Everyone will love them. And then it turns out that they didn't.
Doctor, that blows
Name
my mind.
me
How perfect
5 of the Eternals.
Without
looking it up.
I cannot remember you.
Angelina Blow-Me. There was the one that was deaf for some reason.
Mexa Hayek.
Selma Hayek. I can name you the actors. I don't know their names.
Yeah, but the point is, no one knows their names. I know their names because I memorized them, but no one else knows their names.
No.
No,
I don't know. I don't remember.
Gilgamesh, Mercury,
Harry Styles. Harry Styles shows up at the end.
Harry Styles. Yeah, that's one of them.
I couldn't even tell you any of those. I thought they had totally different names.
I remember Jon Snow. He's not an Eternal. Never mind. He's the not Moon Knight guy, right? He's Black Knight or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
He's gonna be Black Knight.
I haven't even seen it, so
I don't know.
You're not missing much.
Icarus? Is that it? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got one. Yay.
Wait. Okay, now, question for the panel: which one is Icarus?
That one's the
white one.
No, it's the first guy that comes in.
Icarus is the white one.
Oh, is he the one that he's the one that was the secret baddie the whole time?
Asian or the.
He's the plot
Icarus
twist bad guy.
Is the white man that is the evil man, and his name is Icarus because the way he dies, and this is stupid. The way he flies to the sun. Yeah, he flies to the sun. But why would he name himself Icarus? Was the legend of Icarus based on him? Okay, it's just stupid. The movie is just.
Don't you understand? You need real media literacy to understand the deep connection between his name and the way it foreshadowed his death at the end of the movie.
Exactly. Because he knew that media. So Icarus knew that media when he named himself. hundreds of thousands years ago when he came into
Why?
Earth.
I still don't
Yeah.
understand why. Okay, you are a celestial and you are creating perfect beings, and for the lulls, you make one deaf.
You know
I-
nothing, Jon Snow.
Why?
We have to differentiate ourselves from the boys.
I don't
Quick, make A Train
understand.
deaf. Make a deaf A Train.
What's even more funny is she's using American Sign Language in ancient Mesopotamia.
You're right.
The rest is like what? In English as well.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone speaks English sometimes, and sometimes they speak Mesopotam. I mean, well, whatever weird,
Mesopotamian.
yeah, whatever weird interpretation of Mesopotamia, because obviously it's not accurate. It's not like they will care at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there you have the Eternals. Now, does anyone else remember the rest of the cast from Black Widow?
Black Widow.
The girl with
I-
the nasty titties. Yeah, I remember her.
I never watched it.
I was
never
traumatized
saw
by
Black Widow.
her awful rack. Yeah, on the movie Barbenheimer. Yeah.
There,
it's
Taskmaster was in it,
Task
who-
mistress.
who was literally played by a man the entire movie until they decided to reshoot it with a woman and superimpose a woman's head on a man's body.
So funny. The
yeah.
they brought like the thinnest girl. Like even the girl is even thinner than Zoe Saldana, and it's like, couldn't you bring a muscular woman? It wouldn't even make more sense to have a muscular, you know, I don't know, woman to the show with a short haircut, I guess.
Yeah.
Could have done so
So
many things.
the MCU is just absolutely in tarnishes, and I think I'm surprised they're actually still going.
I mean, they're slowing down a little bit. Next year is going to be way less because this year was. I mean, 2022 was just too much for them.
I just can't wait for the Marvels to bomb as hard as the Little Mermaid.
They didn't remember didn't bomb at the end.
No,
I mean, they break even.
Mexa, they lied
no.
about the production budget.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Disney lied about the production budget for Little Mermaid to make it appear like they made money.
I mean, bounding in the comics, you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I actually have a video breaking down all of the budget stuff going behind. So what you're looking at there, that 300 million, that's just the production.
Yeah, it
That
doesn't include any of the marketing.
It doesn't include marketing or distribution. Now, distribution can be waived off because Disney owns their own distribution company.
Yeah.
But the marketing itself still costs money. So
Dude, I went into this before the movie even came out.
And international
I have
distribution
never,
also
I have
costs money.
literally never seen more ads for a movie than I did for Little Mermaid. They were everywhere on every single platform because they used their production budget, and they also took the advertising budget from Elementals to promote the Little Mermaid.
ooh,
I saw
So it
ads
had to be the
everywhere.
200 million at least.
you
just
can actually probably
advertisement.
find this tech. Disney has been underreporting their
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
movie budgets by upwards of $1 million or $100 million.
Yeah.
So it's like if a movie's like 250 million, it probably cost anywhere from 3 to 350,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
yeah. No, we've known this for a while. Though.
And this is the things that the problem is that because movies nowadays they look cheaper and they look worse than they used to.
They're literally
and-
being sued by their investors on multiple
Yeah, multiple
fronts
things.
for defrauding them.
Yeah, either they are literally defrauding them or they are just really stupid with the money that they give them. And you see shows like Rings of Power where you see, okay, you have no idea how they wasted $1 billion. Like there's no way in hell. they wasted $1 billion without paying themselves a big check. You know.
Oh man,
And it really proves you can't just keep throwing money at a problem. Like you
Mhm.
have to have people of quality. I made a comparison in the Rings of Power videos that the budget for each individual movie was something like 80 or 90 million when Peter Jackson did them. So with inflation, they're probably closer to like about 100, 120 million.
right.
But each of the
That's
Rings
for
of Power
all
episodes,
3 of them together, right?
Yeah.
They filmed them
I don't
together.
remember. I don't remember. But Rings of Power is like 80 or 90 million per episode. And it looks terrible in comparison to movies
Mhm.
20 years ago. You can't just keep throwing money at it. And not only that, but man, have you seen some of the horror stories that people have talked about from the CGI departments? These people work like 8 days a week, 25 hours a day.
Yep.
They hate it. And they have no time to work on things.
Yeah.
It
And
was,
that's
it
why
was, it was
everything
90
looks...
it was 90 for each one. It wasn't for all 3.
Yeah. And that's why most of the things that look great in the show is like, okay, the backgrounds look great, but the
Dude,
rest of the
those-
CGI looks awful. So it's like, okay, they spent the entire money, time, and happiness in the backgrounds to make them look good.
Those
And it's
the,
like,
the
I don't
Lord of
know.
the Rings movies, they still hold up today. Like, how old are they now? 20 years? 30? 25?
99, I believe. 90, 98, 99. I think that
2001.
was
2001,
Fellowship is 01.
It's been 20 years, yeah.
2001,
or
2003,
They're
in
20-year-old films,
2007.
and they look perfect. Like,
They are fantastic. The CGI holds up. The acting is great. The writing is
Yeah.
spot on. Like
Obviously, if you see it in a freaking, ultra HD 4K TV, maybe the CGI is going to be a little bit worse. But if you watch it in a TV from back then, the CGI
No,
was mind blowing.
I no, because it's all on film. Like, it's I was worried about that when I bought I bought Blu-ray copies. I finally got a Blu-ray version of the trilogy and watched it on a big expensive TV, expecting to see like artifacts like that. It looks even better.
Did they
Mhm.
do
It
a
looks so good.
remaster or something?
No,
Not a retouching or something with newer technology.
nope.
Nope. They just hold that up because they were made
Yes.
that well, and they were also
Yeah,
shot
see,
on film.
Mark Lock, thanks
It
for the
was
$2.
part.
They
yeah.
filmed all 3 consecutively, but they had a different budget for each
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
But the thing is, was combining hand drawing effects with computer animated effects and also practical effects. So it was a complete combination of the best of the best of everything that was available to that time. But nowadays it's like, okay, we cannot use that many practical effects because our divas
It's
or actors
cheaper.
are so scary.
It's cheaper though.
It is, but they are freaking pussies, right?
But
They don't, they cannot
it's
handle.
cheaper, but it takes skill. It takes planning. It takes a showrunner or director
Yeah.
who actually knows how film works.
Yeah, and that's why the best movies from the MCU with I mean the Phase 4 was the Spider-Man movies, which were not even from MCU, right? We're not even from Marvel. Or were they from Marvel? No, they were from Marvel. Never mind, they were from Marvel. The Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, they're but made by Sony.
Yes, Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Marvel.
I'm still confused about that because Spider-Man can be in Avengers, but the Spider movies still are from.
It's just the management is just so incompetent. Like,
Yeah.
how long have they owned the X-Men and haven't done anything with them yet?
But let's be fair, the Apocalypse thing. X-Men Apocalypse is one of the biggest disappointments of my life.
That's
of
why
my life.
they bought them to bring them into the MCU and then didn't.
Yeah. Because they had to take out the mutants, and they bring the new mutants.
Dude, Dark Phoenix was worse than Apocalypse. Apocalypse had a
I
couple
never
of good
saw.
scenes.
I never
Apocalypse had a
seen.
couple of good Magneto
Yeah,
scenes.
but
it
Apocalypse
was
is
bad.
the best villain ever in the
Yeah.
history of X-Men. So that's why I was like, I was theory crafting since I was a kid about Apocalypse when they showed the
Mhm.
first teaser when back then
I just
when yeah
last week I
X-Men.
rewatched Days of Future Past, and it was fun. It was so much fun.
Days of Future Past is really fun. First gen is really fun too. Just good fun.
I will always stand that. I will always defend Logan as the best one that they made for that entire series so far.
By far, but by far, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
the
was there even anything close to that? Like X-Men, like the first X-Men's
Maybe X-Men too.
X-Men 2 maybe, but
X2 is really
not
good.
but not to the level because it was a different kind of movie, right? It was an action kind of,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It was a different
yeah,
genre of film.
exactly, but it was still really good. It holds up. But Logan is a movie that's going to like the fact that Logan is not, talked more about in the nerdy circles is just it's just a product of all the bad things that we have received for the past 2 years, and people just forget how good we had it before.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
What
Gamer,
do you guys think of
Mr.
the
Gamer
what,
900 agrees with me. So.
what do you guys think of the what did you guys think of the X-Men movies overall?
Which one?
All of them, which
Just
one? Yeah.
all of them, just overall, because
Well, okay,
I'm not
yeah.
impressed with
The
the series.
7 movies.
I mean, I loved X1 and X2 when I was a kid when they came out.
Yeah.
I enjoyed X3, and it's not a good movie.
No, but it's enjoyable.
To but
this
when I
day,
watched
yeah.
it in theaters, it was a good
cool.
it was a good climax, I think, for this.
It was cool. It was cool.
When
I watched the movies,
you're watching it, but I
was
haven't
cool.
rewatched it as an adult. But it's. I know it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't love First Class. I thought it looked good. It looked shiny, but I didn't really think the story was interesting at all. I really loved Days of Future Past, hated Apocalypse, hated Dark Phoenix, and then there's like the 5 Wolverine movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I
three?
just now remember. X-Men Origins is terrible. The Japanese one,
which is just
God
the
of-
Wolverine.
is just the Wolverine.
Correct.
Started off actually pretty good. Like the first half of that movie is
Oh yeah.
fun, and
But
then
it's like what
and then
the
turns
heck?
in like the finale just turns into just a weird CGI fest, and it was not good.
And not only that, but they started pandering to Japan. It is clear that they had to pander a lot to Japan. It's okay. I love Japan as well, but
Logan
like-
was dope.
What do you think, Jared?
I remember enjoying a lot of them. I definitely really enjoyed the Wolverine ones because growing up, that was always my favorite character. So it was kind of fun to see
the Origins was really good.
them bring that back. I really enjoyed most of the X-Men. They definitely got like. I remember when I was watching those though. Another one of my favorite characters was Cyclops. Not Cyclops, was Gambit. And I
Okay.
remember they brought him back for just a moment. They brought him into one of those.
It was Wolverine Origins. Wolverine Origins ruined Gambit and Deadpool in the
Yeah,
same
and I
film.
was really excited because I was like, "Ooh,
No,
they're bringing
Gambit was
Gambit."
hyped
And
up.
then I
Like in
remember-
Wolverine
very
Origins,
disappointed.
Gambit was hyped up. They ruined Deadpool. They destroyed Deadpool literally so bad that they had to reboot it with the same actor. But no, I mean, in my opinion, Gambit was a cool character. Like I wanted to watch the Gambit movie. I was waiting for years for the freaking Gambit movie.
Yeah.
Everyone was going to watch the movie if they released it right after Wolverine Origins.
I was
Yeah.
praying for a Gambit movie, and then they announced it was going to be Channing Tatum, and then I was praying that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, and then it didn't happen. So your prayers were answered.
Yeah. So I still to this day I'm like I wish they got some good Gambit story out there because
Storyline, at
really
least,
the only Gambit we have are from the animated stuff and from the comics, and so which
I
are good. Like
think
I thoroughly enjoyed those.
There's like a Gambit in. Wait, Gambit is Marvel. Give me 1 second. No, never mind. I got confused there. But they are hinting Gambit should come on the Sonyverse.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember they've just recently started like or you know, teasing that there might be some more Gambit stuff, but I'm like, okay, until I
I
see it, like I don't know.
I haven't
But anyway,
watched.
the other ones I really enjoyed though. I thought they were um so I really watched them mainly for like the actors. For example, oh man, I'm blanking on the guy who did Xavier. Um,
Patrick Stewart.
no.
No,
The young one.
McCoy, James McCoy,
Yeah, James
James
McAvoy.
McAvoy.
Yeah. So I really liked how James McAvoy played Xavier, and like you know the story that he was telling, and I thought that they were doing a very good job. And same with like Magneto, how they were kind of you know giving us some background and giving
I
us
thought the
some depth
Magneto
to those.
casting was way better than Professor X's casting. I it wasn't anything against James McAvoy's performance. He just doesn't look the part to me. I don't like him as Xavier.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Like especially when they
He's
actually
just
he
he's
had his
just so
accident
young.
and he was
He's
bald, you
way
know, it
too
was
young.
like yeah, it didn't look quite right. But at the same time, I was like, oh, as a young Xavier, you know, someone like before an accident, I mean, before
But
being in the
In
wheelchair,
my
like I was like,
opinion,
okay,
yeah, in my
this
opinion,
could
it was
be interesting.
decent
wait,
because
but
he was younger than Magneto,
but
canonically,
Fassbender, I think, is a better Magneto
than
than the
anyone.
original.
Yeah, he was
Um,
phenomenal. I think as
I don't know.
Magneto.
I just sure isn't the original the guy that made this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
it's
isn't
Ian
the
McKellen.
original is McKellen? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Ian
yeah,
McKellen.
McKellen.
I like
Ian McKellen.
Fassbender's performance better. I think McKellen's a little bit dry as Magneto.
Yeah,
I used to love Magneto when I was growing up. I always thought because Ian McKellen has such an aura of just he oozes
He's great.
like you know he uses wisdom, and I don't know when I saw him he was like the villain, but you didn't want to hate the villain because he was so cool with the chessboard, the movie the pieces with his mind, and because he couldn't move the pieces because they were you know they were not metal because he was in prison.
Right.
It was so cool. It was so cool. I loved the first two movies, the three. In my opinion, the three was really good. Like you said, the hype in the movies, bro. The movie theater was that time. The movie theater was in flames. Like everyone was hype about that movie, especially about the ending. You know when he was with the girl, and all like naked and all all going up to the girl and just dying and regenerating and dying and regenerating. I love that scene. Um, McAvoy, yeah,
Yeah.
I really like Days of Future Past, but because back then when I was still like I was like 17, 18 when that movie came out. So I was and Avengers had just came
Mhm.
out. So I was so into the idea of creating superhero groups. In my opinion, it was the perfect movie to start the new basically the new X-Men, right? That was the
Thanks for tuning in, not Kevin Feige. Yeah.
yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first X-Men for the newest generation. You know, the newest without Wolverine, and you know, after the soft reset that happened, you know, with X-Men 3.
I mean, they really struck gold with casting Wolverine. Like,
Yeah, that's the best casting of the history of superheroes ever.
and everyone hated it when it was announced. Like, because
Yep.
he'd never done anything even remotely close to that kind of performance. And
Ah, yeah, yeah.
he's the theater kid. Like he's the song and
yeah, he
dance
was on
man.
Broadway, and yeah,
Like, it worked though. It totally changed his
Yeah.
career.
For the better, I believe. And the thing is, I don't know, like superhero casting is always weird for me because there are times like Tony Stark, perfect casting. Captain America, perfect casting.
Captain Marvel, perfect casting.
Captain Captain Marvel, awful casting. Oh god, awful casting. Yeah, what is also god awful casting? Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. It doesn't even look like the freaking She-Hulk when she converts into She-Hulk. Doesn't make sense. All the Eternals, terrible casting. Nobody knows most of these people, and the only ones they know are 50-year-olds, literally. And yeah, I don't know. They That's one of the things that Marvel has definitely gone like before you will cast someone, well, not before they will hate on every casting decision history, right?
Mhm.
Or Ben Affleck until then, no, but with Marvel, it was always like, okay, these guys are perfect for the role, and they embody this character. So it's that ended definitely. It has to deal, and it's one of the reasons why Marvel nowadays is just trash.
Um, Mark Clark, I see your comment, and I'm going to talk. I'll bring up Lightbringer in a second, but
Yeah, I saw that one
um,
too.
I think this one made me realize some stuff about the X-Men movies that I Nightcrawler's a fantastic character too, and he
Mhm.
was done phenomenally in the first three movies, and I hate Nightcrawler in the younger generation in the reboot. He's so boring.
Yeah.
Um, and
Didn't they
that
also
and
get rid of his accent?
yeah, or something like that. He just didn't he never did anything. He had like the only time they ever used him was in Dark Phoenix to like teleport people out of the spaceship in the opening scene. Um and I did he was just he got done dirty in the reboots, and the other flaws of those movies why they never kicked off they were focused on the completely wrong people,
Mhm.
like Jennifer Lawrence was the star of those movies, right? She was, and it.
Yep.
I love Mystique. She's not a main character. I'm sorry. Like,
Mhm. She
yeah,
probably has to deal with
she
had
is
to deal a lot.
she is a
She,
side character
yeah,
who shows up every once in a while at best. You can't like. There's no narrative around her that's interesting because she's the surprise. She's the surprise reveal, right? She's the wrench that you throw in the story.
yeah.
Oh crap!
I always hated this
I
Mystique. I mean, Jennifer
that was
Lawrence is
Mystique. She was pulling a fast
hot.
one. I don't see how she just doesn't work as a main character.
Yeah, the best Mystique always going to be the first movie. The best Mystique
She looks
ever.
better too. She looks better
Yeah,
in the first three
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Like
Obviously, yeah,
I there are some. I think maybe in the first two, Jennifer Lawrence
yeah.
looked okay, but some of the effects in the later movies, like it genuinely looks
Looks bad. Yeah.
awful.
But because the Mystique, the real Mystique, the first one is just makeup, right? Perfect makeup
They
and
had
makeup and
prosthetics that they put on. Yeah,
prosthetics. Yeah, but it's part of the makeup, right? What I mean is like the movies. Remember how surprised and how terrified you were of Mystique, because you never knew who that girl was. You know, you never knew if she was going to be
yeah,
your ally, your buddy, and you didn't even know if sometimes maybe she was going to be able to replicate the powers.
because
Even
she's a plot device, not a main character.
exactly, she's not even a villain, an evil happening,
She's like
a tool for the villains.
an anti villain, or maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the tool for the buildings sometimes. Yeah. Nightcrawler. Yeah, the original Nightcrawler is the one from the movies. He one of my favorite
What's
characters.
the?
I always wanted to be Nightcrawler when I was a
There's
kid.
a scene from the first three where he's like teleporting around the White House,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, it's either two or three. So good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two. Yeah, the two. No, the three. He does more in the three, way more in the three, and the two he does less. But yeah, the two is the better movie.
Oh, the other problem with the whole Mystique thing in the reboots, and this was a big problem even in Days of Future Past, which I liked. Her character arc for all of those movies was exactly the same, and it was always people don't think I'm pretty. That was it.
Yeah, and her weird
For
obsession with her
all
race.
four of those movies was people don't think I'm pretty. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You're telling me that guys don't like a sexy blue freak? Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't have organs, but yeah,
but she
Yeah.
she could make it look like she did.
Yeah. True. That. But that's what she didn't want, I guess. I don't know. The whole thing, like, girl, you had titties, and then what did you complain about? Jennifer Lawrence going to the
No, I
gym every
guarantee
day
you. I
for 3
guarantee you,
years.
most people would prefer blue Jennifer Lawrence to regular Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, the real one. Perfect.
You don't.
Like the
You
meme.
don't. You don't know your target demographic very well, do you? You
Mhm.
don't know nerds.
Yeah, Nurse being in love with Cortana, who is a freaking, untangible hologram. Yeah, intangible. Yeah. Good times, good times. People people used to complain back then about how bad movies were. People would complain, "Oh, superhero movies, they are so bad," and it's
Yeah.
like,
This. In the first 3 movies, Mystique wanted to live in a world where she didn't have to pretend to be someone else.
Mhm.
And in the other movies, Mystique wanted to pretend to be someone else.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know, the first movie was terribly written. Like, literally, it was terribly written. The years of Days of Future Past. I mean, the first one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Um,
Yeah, the second
Yeah.
one was way better written, but her character and her acting specifically was way worse than the first one because they didn't have much thing to do with her, and they just tried to make her okay Mystique but feminist, literally a Mystique but social justice warrior, and she's obsessed with race now, with the mutant race, mutant and proud, gay and proud.
what you haven't? Dang it! Now I don't remember if it's Albelio.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I said it right.
E.
Albelio, you haven't told us what you think of the X-Men movies.
Even though it's been a while since I've last seen the X-Men movies, I had a fondness for the first 2. And I think generally speaking, X2 was the most well received until later when they
People
tried.
really liked First Class. I did.
First Class is definitely one of the more popular ones.
Mhm.
Origins pretty much destroyed the franchise.
Yeah.
Wolverine. So that one destroyed the franchise. First Class brought it back, and I think more people liked the trailer for Apocalypse because it made Apocalypse much scarier than he turned out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the main threat in X-Men Apocalypse was Magneto
Yeah.
and not
Pretty much.
Apocalypse.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which is like, don't even get me started with Apocalypse because I've read the entire comics about Apocalypse. Oh my god, Apocalypse is such a cool character. If I want something to get rebooted of anything in the entire Marvel universe, please reboot Apocalypse. Please reboot Apocalypse. Kang, forget about Kang. F Kang, bro. Focus on Apocalypse, man. He got the Hulk as his freaking labradoodle. Like, the Hulk was his freaking labradoodle, literally.
So the Wolverine, I agree with Jared. I think the Wolverine was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Because it mainly just brought everything back to a middling review, and then
We're grounded. Yeah.
yeah.
Is it-
So it was just like, hey,
do
we're
you
not
think
bad. We're just
really
better
that
than
is
bad.
worse? Do you think that is worse than Origins or better than Origins?
Absolutely.
Oh, way better. I think Origins.
I love
don't-
Origins. I don't know what are you talking about. I love, but it's just that I saw these movies when I was just a kid. Like,
Well, that's
all of
that's
these
fine
movies,
if you want to
yeah.
enjoy it. I think that's
But
because everybody likes things when we're kids because we're stupid.
X-Men
nowadays,
no. X-Men Origins. I was not stupid. That was like what changed me. I remember being so disappointed with
Changed your
Origins.
life.
It really did. Like, it was X-Men Origins was like a defining point in my film critique. Ness. I remember walking out of that theater and remembering scenes from the trailer that were not in the movie, and I was like, that was terrible. And like the blocking in the trailer, like I remembered those scenes, and then I saw the scene in the movie and it was different. And you're like, why were those changes made? It just makes no sense.
I just like to think the way you like walked out of the theater, you're overhearing somebody's like, "Oh yeah, the movie was really cool," and then you're like, "I think it sucked. I'm smarter than these kids."
I was.
Yeah, I for
Time
me
to
it
make a YouTube
was
channel.
with the Immortal with Wolverine Immortal or whatever name calls name. In Mexico it was called Immortal, something Wolverine Mortal. It should have been called Wolverine Japón.
They showed Deadpool's
Wolverine
mouth.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked the first minutes of Origins. It's the same thing that happened for you with the Wolverine. The first minutes for me of Origins at
Oh, no,
least
no, no,
got me
no.
to know.
The first
Yeah,
15 minutes are
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, exactly. When he's in the military and all those. I remember all those things. Yeah, after that, I don't give a damn about the goddamn movie.
Going through
After
him,
that is trash. Yeah,
going through Wolverine and
and also his conversion. No, his conversion
what's
into
his
when he
brother's
got
name?
adamantium, Sabretooth.
Sabretooth. Showing them
Um,
go through like 60
exactly,
different wars was incredible.
exactly. That was incredible. What do
And
you
then
mean?
the
Like
rest of the
compared,
movie
bro,
wasn't.
but compare that to the trash that is the Wolverine, where it's just this guy drinking, like being taking care of a freaking bear. Like, who cares about the freaking bear? This guy went through 6 wars. I want this guy to be, and for me it was the Wolverine, the movie that for me that was the turning point actually, because I remember walking out of the film, and not only walking out but during the film just screaming at the literally frustrated at the freaking movie at the end, not during the beginning, at the end when they were fighting and the whole thing with the ninjas, and I was
I didn't like that one either. Okay.
and no, it's so bad, I don't know how you can go. I mean, the Wolverine
Dude,
Origins is bad,
I've only
but it's
seen
no.
I've only seen both of these movies one time. Okay, it's not like
Rewatch it.
I like one so
Rewatch
much
the
more.
whole thing when they go to the to the main villain city or whatever this mountain is. Freaking villa in Mount Fuji. Um, it's so brain dead. I was laughing the entire time. Every scene is like, what the heck? The scenes in the train, the thing that where his powers are so inconsistent. I don't get it. He gets his powers back by being brave. I don't know. I guess the whole thing with the nanobot was really cool, but then they forget about it, and now he has his powers back. The nanobot, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. The Wolverine for me was worse than the Origins. At least Origins has some type of emotional connection, with the girl, and didn't it break your heart when the girl is like, oh, I didn't love you, mother lover. I just touched your skin and you fell in love with me. That was cool. That was cool in my opinion. The rest is like whatever. Deadpool is so bad, but the girl with the thing that she can touch people, and then she says to the guy, "Walk till you die." Oh, that was cool. That was cold blooded. That was cold blooded.
No, it had good ideas. It's just some poor execution.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
obviously,
some
yeah,
of
yeah.
the worst CGI of all time.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, yes, yes. That's when
Remember
they
when he's
stopped
touching his
doing.
claws to each other, and
Like
they're not even like moving. He just touches them, and they just spark.
Yeah,
And the tracking is bad because they keep clipping
yeah.
through his hand.
But that's when they stopped doing. That's when the bar for less practical effects and more CGI. But in the past, it was 50% practical and 50% CGI. That's why it looked good, or even more practical effects than CGI. And the CGI was just to make it look, more realistic. But now in that moment of time, they started doing more CGI to do way more wacky, crazy stuff. So they lost the realistic part. So that's why it looks awful. Yeah.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
I
Yes,
love
I
X
guess you
Men.
saw it.
X-Men, yeah, X-Men was one of my favorite franchises. That's why I love talking about it. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I really know a lot of. I read the comics. That's
I
one of
was-
the few comics that I read. The animated shows in the 90s and the 2000s. Oof.
Show's good.
Actually, when I started watching that freaking show, you guys got me back into the
I did it
X-Men.
again. Pushing the wrong buttons. Sorry, I was going through the articles that are left, seeing if they're worth talking about. I guess I showed it twice.
I was gonna try. You trying to say something? Alan?
No, I wasn't going to talk about this because, it's not interesting enough. Okay, but you saw it twice. Warwick Davis said it was embarrassing that Disney Plus pulled Willow from Disney Plus. I think that actually watching Willow was more embarrassing, but that's just
Yeah, I felt we call it in Mexico pena ajena, embarrassed for somebody else.
yeah. Secondhand embarrassment.
Exactly,
Yeah, that was
exactly,
so bad.
exactly.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I missed it though. I missed it. I missed it.
I never
Um,
watched Willow. I watched the movie, like
Dude,
the one the Ron Howard made years ago.
it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really
I
good
love it.
movie. The forced perspective in that movie, holy moly, guacamole. Yeah.
So good. TV show is
Not good.
it's worse
I
than
heard-
Rings of Power, man.
It was.
I
really
Yeah.
heard a lot of people said something similar. Yeah,
I don't remember which one was the funniest episode. The first one of the one where they get captured, or the one where they are drinking the semen from the goo monster.
are you kidding me?
Nope.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I haven't
Oh, you
seen
are
the
in for
Willow
a
show.
treat, my brother. Yes, in the last episode, they're drinking goo that has the viscosity of, you know what, and the
But
color
it's
of, you know
it's
what.
literally like
Oh.
worm. It's literally worm excretion. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
literally. And they don't
Oh.
specify, but they hint a little bit, and that's the funny part. Like, they hint a little bit that it's like the secretion,
There
the
is
discharge of the evil.
Yes. Val Kilmer was the best part of Willow and the worst part of the Willow TV show, because they brought in his CGI or they brought in his AI voice to tell the main character that the story was, or to tell the horrible, worse than Galadriel, feminist Nazi character that
Oh.
the entire story was about her the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They literally have Val Kilmer's voice go in and say, this story is not about Willow. It's always been about you.
Kit. Oh, and that
Yeah.
girl is a lesbo.
No, there is a scene where they called it the seed of the worm.
Oh yes. The goo, the semen, look at like discharge that I'm saying. Yes, they call it seed of the worm, literally.
Yeah,
God.
it's pretty bad.
And when you get this, when you drink it, it turns you evil.
And horny
And-
for a reason.
And so they used it to turn the only good character in the TV show is Kit's brother. Their brother and sister, both children of Val Kilmer and redhead chick.
Oh,
Roshana.
Isn't that the same girl that from Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
No. That's Kit's.
Her
That's
friend,
Kit's
yeah.
lesbian best friend.
yeah.
Lesbian girlfriend, yeah.
What?
So there's
Why
a,
is-
They kiss multiple times in
Okay,
the
but
Why
show.
is Disney trying to make her a thing?
I don't know. She's so bad. Okay, no, but
And
so
ugly.
Val Kilmer had 2 kids, and then just pieces off because he's a bad dad.
Of course.
So there's a guy. There's a brother and a sister, and the brother, like you get him for like 2 episodes. He's phenomenal. Like he's actually a really good actor,
Yeah, he's
and-
funny too.
and he's
he has
charming,
charisma.
and
Yeah.
he's making good choices. Like he's genuinely trying to be moral and heroic and protect others, right?
And he wants to
can't- you
marry a
can't have
girl, and he don't wants to. Yeah, he wants to stop fooling around with girls, and he wants to marry.
Well, but no, he's straight up
his
like he
kid.
has opportunities to have like premarital sex, and he doesn't want to do it, right? And then he gets kidnapped by the bad guys and becomes the manzel in distress, and the like one of the finales is they start feeding him the worm semen. That what it does is it turns you evil. and they have him like wrestling with his conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to turn evil, or am I going to be good? And they have him turn evil off screen.
Because he drinks the semen, and
They show it's so dumb.
Why?
and he
Yeah.
kisses the worm, and the thing is that the worm is like this disgusting. Literally, they show a second when he's kissing the worm, and it's like, come on, why do you have to degrade my guy like that? They show how like this is a decrepit old woman, like a witch. Remember in Game of Thrones when you saw the Red Witch and she was
Mhm.
so hot, and then she turned into this ugly old lady, when you and this is very same thing. And yeah,
Yep. Which is one of the few
show was
times people
already-
were like,
yeah.
"No, put your
she was
back
gonna
on."
marry the guy, and then at the
It's
end he was
because
like,
they
I
needed
don't
a
need to marry
reason
anything.
to make the only good character bad.
Yeah, the worm stuff was the reason why he turned bad, and now he turned bad because he was poisoned, basically, because he was the reason why he drinks the water, the semen, is because he was dehydrated, and he needed to drink something, so he starts drinking this thing from the mountain, the fountain. And he starts looking at this hot chick, and then the hot chick entices him and tells him, come here to drink the semen of the worm and things like that. And and that's why the girl doesn't want to marry him, because he got poisoned. And she's like, no, I'm gonna be a Laura Denham, and I'm gonna be like the baddest mother lover ever, although I haven't even trained ever. I just know how to do stuff. And the one that should have been his romantic partner, the guy that was going to marry the other girl, the guy dies, right? He dies.
I think he gets turned evil too at the end.
No, he gets turned evil in the 6th episode, and then he dies.
Does he? Did
Before,
they kill
yeah,
him
he
off?
dies. They kill him.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, he dies. I was like, what?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And he dies in such a stupid way. He's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for you.
He
And
was
then, and
he was the second best character. Like he started
Yeah,
off horrible
yeah.
and then
He's a
actually
cool
became
part.
interesting.
He's a cool
And then
actor.
they
I
had to
mean,
kill him off because he was
he's a
more
cool
interesting
actor, I
than the
guess. He's a cool
females.
actor. Yeah.
Is the guy?
I don't know.
It's the guy who does. He's the. For some reason, he's Flash Gordon in Spider-Man movies,
Yeah. Flash.
which
No, no, that-
doesn't
no, that
work
one.
there. But he's a good actor.
Not that one, but yeah.
Anyway, we've definitely hashed that out before, so it's
Yeah.
one that you probably don't need to watch for sure.
And I
just
wanted to
Willow
see if
Legacy alive.
the show would have been better but they just completely run out of IQ, literally. Like the show could have been gone,
Dude,
like,
just
through
watch. I
each
made one
episode.
video. I made a devoid of logic video on it, intending to do the whole series, and I just couldn't bring myself to do more.
Mhm.
But you should watch it. The opening credits before the movie even starts craps all over the movie.
Oh,
It says, oh, back in these days, there was this fantastic woman, and she was really great. And then there was Willow, and he was a powerful sorcerer, and he's also a protected class, so we can't really clown on him. And then there was Mad Mardigan, and he was just a real piece of shit.
A piece of a scandal, a piece of garbage, human garbage.
But it's being narrated from the redhead's. What's her name?
Roshana.
Laura Dannon.
No.
No.
The love
mom?
interest for Val Kilmer.
I don't
She's
know.
the one doing the narrating. It's
I
from
don't
her
care.
perspective.
I don't care.
I don't
to
know.
be honest.
I don't know if you remember the movie. She's evil,
I'm gonna call her Shoshana.
Well, until the end.
and Val Kilmer converts her with
Yeah.
love. Sorsha. Thank you,
There
Mark.
we
yeah.
go, yeah.
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, she is the daughter of the bad guy, of the villain of the piece, and she's hunting them the entire time. And Mad Mardigan converts her to the good side with love. And she's narrating this thing like, Mad Mardigan's horrible, all these people are horrible, I was really great. And that it's like, I have never seen in so little time such disdain for the source material as Just
20
the,
seconds, yeah.
the intro to Willow.
The funniest part for me for the show is that they expected that they were going to have 3 more seasons. They had they ended. I'm not kidding. Albello, Albilio, Albilio. The last shot of this show, literally the last second of this show, is because supposedly Willow is a book. I never even heard that Willow is a book, but apparently Willow is a book. So the last shot of this show is the narrator putting the book back in the shelf, and apparently this book was the volume 1 and it had 4 volumes. So they thought in their little minds that they were going to have 4 more seasons. I mean 4
3
seasons
more
in
seasons.
total. Yeah, 3 more seasons.
I
Oh
don't
my God.
I've never been able to understand this. Like I get and it's not the trope either of these strong woman, right?
Mhm.
I don't understand how these businesses, these studios, which deal in hundreds of millions, literal billions of dollars in production, how on earth is it that they can look at these movies, see the numbers, watch their movies completely get eviscerated online,
Right.
lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and think, yeah, let's just keep going with this. Losing money is now the business model. I have
It's-
never been able to understand this.
It's
What
because
happened?
they're literally not in control anymore. Their entire companies have been infected from the ground up. It's the people in HR, it's the people in hiring they're only going to hire more woke people, and you can't like you'd have to file bankruptcy and start a new company to fix
Yeah.
it.
And they legit are just bringing dumb people. That's at the end of the day, that's what the problem. Because it doesn't matter how woke you are. If you are not stupid, you're gonna realize at the end of the day that something has been doing that. There's been doing something wrong. And the thing that mostly that what happened with these shows, specifically with the shows, not the movies. The movies is inexcusable what they did with the movies and what happened with the flops that the last flops that they received. That's why they even stopped making movies altogether this year. How
I
many
know.
Marvel movies? 0 Marvel movies, right?
When
this
was
year?
the
Marvels,
last,
but
when was the last Star Wars movie? We've had like 30 TV shows.
Solo.
Solo. But the
No,
flop. Yeah,
no,
Solo.
Rise of Skywalker came out after Solo.
Oh yeah. You're right.
I'm
For real?
When was that? Yeah.
No, he's
For
correct,
real?
because Rogue One came out before Solo, and those two were before or after. They were around Last Jedi.
Like
If I remember
5
correctly,
years
if
ago.
I remember correctly, it was Force Awakens, Rogue One,
Last Jedi.
Last
Solo.
Jedi, Solo, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
For real?
Rise of Skywalker came out in 2019. Why
Yeah,
does that
4
feel?
years ago.
Why does that feel wrong? It feels
Because
like
we're
it's
not.
older.
COVID.
It literally feels like it's been 10 years.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
time doesn't care, and we're
The
getting
virus.
Well, but so much has happened since then.
The virus, yeah.
older. Yeah,
It feels like a generation ago.
yeah. And they're talking about bringing back Ray Palpatine.
Sorry,
Like
no,
that's actually their
I
big
believe
move
you
right
misspoke.
now.
It's Ray Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Thank you very much.
You bigot. You bigot.
You bigot. I can't believe I brought you on this show.
Ray Skywalker. I remember that I made a funny bet with my aunt and I told her Ray's gonna be a Skywalker. And she was like, no way, there's no way she's gonna be a Skywalker.
You realize that's the entire reason the movie is called The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Like, which is the dumbest title of all time.
Because
and everyone was trying to figure out what the heck does Rise of Skywalker mean? And then
At the end.
the movie ends and you still don't know. And then you get the post-credit scene of Ray Skywalker.
What's your name, young woman who's out here in the middle of nowhere, burying one of the most powerful weapons in the universe? Ray. Ray what?
Your mom
Ray
says.
Solo.
Ray, are you alone? Ray Solo?
Like, are you alone? Was that an adverb? What's going on? God, I hated that. Yeah,
Ben
no,
Solo, because she banged Ben Solo. She's Ray Solo now. The movie should have called The Rise of Palpatine.
Man, I'm glad I had this brought up. I was planning on glossing over this one, but here's another bad take since we ended up talking about Star Wars for some reason.
It's always
I
everything
don't know
goes
who
back to
brought it
Star
up,
Wars.
but I found this one today. Why Rey and Kylo couldn't just make out in Star Wars: The Last Jedi?
Why couldn't they make out?
It really
I
is
don't-
true.
I
It
don't.
really is true. These people can't do anything except write about Brad Pitt's junk.
I have no intention of ever reading that article, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, the Ray
Gives new
those
context to
times,
Rise
yeah.
of Palpatine.
The Rise of Palpatine. Yeah,
Mr.
imagine
Gamer and I had
that.
the same joke.
Oh, baby.
Oh my god, the Rise of Palpatine. Oh yes. Jesus Christ.
Although Rise of Skywalker makes sense contextually because you can't tell nowadays.
The Rise of
Like how
I also
on
really hated how they just couldn't figure out like any of these. The Last Jedi. It's like Last Jedi. Wait, they're gonna bring in the Gray Jedi? Oh, this is gonna be amazing. They're gonna combine this, and we're gonna finally move on from something that isn't just Star Wars. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Oh, Luke's
nope,
dead.
everyone's
Oh,
a Skywalker.
Yep, Luke's a grouchy old hermit that no one cares about.
Yeah.
He literally came to this planet to die.
And at the end dies. That was the Last Jedi for me. And well, I always tell you that I always knew that Star Wars, because of Disney, was going to be trash when Disney
Mhm.
owned when they bought Lucasfilm. After Force Awakens, I told my friends this is gonna be trash. This movie is garbage. This movie is just a cheap copy of the fifth one. I mean, the fourth one. The cheap copy of the fourth one is just gonna be trash. Then the Last Jedi came out, and all my friends were like, "Bro," and I was like, "I told you so. I freaking told you so." Everyone hated the Last Jedi.
Mark Clark, you and me both, man. I'm so tired of maps that lead to people.
That was a thing in Ahsoka.
Yes, they
Apparently.
did it again
Yeah.
in Ahsoka.
They literally copied the map from the
Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. Yeah,
It's the same asset.
it's the same map, bro. It's the same form of the map. It's literally a ball.
Thank you
with-
so much
and-
for the super chat,
yeah.
Mark Clark.
Thank you, brother.
And understand, it's not just a map that points to another person. It's a map that points to information hundreds of years in the future to a person.
Yes, and the map was buried in a temple thousands of years
In
old.
the past, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. None of it makes sense. And
that
people are
you
like, "It's
find
so
in
good.
the
This is the best
game.
writing ever."
Yeah,
It's like,
that you
are
find
you
in the game. By the way, that part in the game was just I hated that part of the game.
What game? What
The game,
just-
the game of the Jedi Force
Fallen Order one?
Fallen Order. Yeah, something.
I
like
was so disappointed with the first game. I didn't even bother with Fallen Order 2.
that. I didn't even know there was a second one.
I got Fallen Order for free, and I was still disappointed.
A friend of mine bought the Xbox version, the Xbox edition of the Fallen Order. He was so disappointed. He literally threw the controller to the floor because he got bored at the first 2 hours of gameplay. He got so bored. He was like, "Why did I bought this console for this game?" Yeah, shit about Battlefield 2.
Yeah, everything. I mean, aside from just even if you're capable of just looking past all of just the woke inserts, right? The race
Mhm.
swapping and all of the ESG stuff and all of the insufferable dialogue, just dehumanizing men and the bad writing. Nothing is entertaining anymore. Like it's just not fun. Like
Mhm.
I am genuinely shocked. I don't believe that One Piece is real. I think it's a fever. I genuinely think it's a fever dream. I think it's mass hysteria. I don't understand how it exists in the
I mean, I
in
think
the
it's
same
mass
world.
hysteria the fact that it's considered really good, but it is the best by far. Like it
It
is the
is
gold.
so good.
I mean, it is good. It is good. Don't get me wrong. But
I
there are,
love it.
I don't know.
They just kept it simple. They
Yeah,
decided,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna just
Yeah.
we're gonna
The
take this
reason,
story,
yeah, the
we're gonna
reason why it's
condense
really
it
good
as
and it's probably a 9 out of 10 is because exactly what you're saying. Mhm.
they condensed and hit the main points, but they kept it with
I have complaints about
it's a
One Piece too.
middling series, and it's
It
gonna be
is.
the
It is.
best damn thing in 2023.
There's like
Yes, by
what is
far.
there? Are there 9 episodes or like 8?
8.
There's 8 episodes, and 2 of them felt unnecessary. Like
Yes.
the ones where they went to the mansion and the knife hands guy was just not executed well. Like the fight scenes were really boring. I didn't like those episodes. I still loved the show
Yeah. To be honest,
because
that episode
it
was
was a
done
breath of fresh
better.
air.
That episode was done better in the show than in the anime. The anime, that enemy in the anime, that enemy is like
I just
it's
didn't.
way
tho-
less cool and way less important that they did in
those
the
fight
show.
scenes were not executed to the same standard that the rest of the show was, and also you had a guy who was like super fast and could basically
Yeah,
teleport behind you and then would just randomly decide to not do it. You're like, I
it
can't get into
happened
it.
like that in the anime,
I
kinda.
know. It just
The
wasn't
problem,
it
yeah,
wasn't very engaging, and his knives looked really silly.
I would
Like
say
I
the
get that the
best
whole thing is
fights.
over the top, that and for the most part it's working. That one just didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's why it didn't work because they put so much emphasis, I think, into him when he's
And
just a
in
random
spite of
villain.
that, in spite of me not liking 2 episodes of an 8 episode series, I freaking loved One Piece.
It's one of the best things that have come out this year, if not the best. I don't even remember was something good that has come out this year other than
That's the
Oppenheimer, I
only thing.
guess.
It
Huh?
drives me nuts because One Piece shows exactly why it succeeded. You
Mhm.
have positive characters,
Uh-huh.
you have a positive outlook on life, you have positive role models, male role models, mind you.
Uh-huh.
You have characters who are all to some degree damaged, not necessarily traumatized, but damaged,
Right. They're
and they
interesting.
deal with it like adults. And Nami, the woman has probably the worst backstory opening. Like that's brutal. Her mom
Mhm.
is her
Yeah.
adoptive mom is killed in front of her. She goes to work for the pirate, and
I
then
kept waiting for her to become insufferable, and she never did. And I was like, oh.
She becomes yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. Her
she
character,
becomes protective of her friends that she's only known after a short while. She's
Yeah.
been bearing all
yeah,
of this
she's done
responsibility.
better.
Like,
Let me tell you, she's done better in the show than in the anime because in the anime, she's really greedy and her only
Mhm.
literally the only thing that she wants is money. So when she says in the show, there was a part that I was like, oh, okay, they did Nami a different kind of person. She's like, okay, the real treasure is friends, something like that, which is true in that sense, in the sense of the show. Definitely the treasure, the real treasure, the One Piece, I guess, is the friends we made along the way. uh
How could you be bored by episode 1 of One Piece? It's so
Episode
it's
1 didn't
just,
happen, right?
it's just
What
fun.
happened? Didn't they fight
It's
the fat lady? Yeah,
yeah.
right, the fat lady, the fat pirate.
I don't
The
know.
episode one in anime, bro. Like you were bored silly, but I don't know if you had seen Mark Clark. I don't know if you had seen the freaking anime, bro. I got to like episode 200 and something, and I was like, I'm done, bro. I cannot continue with this. It's too much. Yeah.
I loved how infectious Luffy's character was. Just his just sheer positivity was just so refreshing.
I definitely like his
and
voice
his
better than the
acting was
voice actor.
wonderful.
In he's a really good actor. Either way, that guy is Mexican, by the way, Iñaki Godoy. That
Yeah.
guy is really good actor. He has been in a couple of
Guess
Netflix
what?
shows.
He wasn't cast because he's Mexican. He was and guess what? His accent is kind of a stretch. Like you're like, oh wait, this is the Luffy that we're going with, but it's because he's perfect for the role.
Hmm. And you see that he really
It's his
worked in his
attitude.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
Because he's Mexican. He's from fucking freaking DF, like
Yeah.
the Ciudad de Mexico. So he's really really freaking Mexican. So he has an accent when he speaks Spanish, and you see, oh, this guy's from Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City. And but yeah, when you see him act, and he has another show. If you want to, I don't know if it's a show for kids. Maybe you can check it out before showing it to your kids. But there's a show in Netflix called the what's it called? But it's the other show in Netflix with Iñaki Godoy.
Uh-huh.
That show is not that good, but the only good part is probably Iñaki Godoy, definitely. But it's fun. It's just one of those shows that you don't have to be thinking about it. Maybe you can watch it with your wife or something. It's just a fun show that doesn't have much things about it.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
I love his attitude.
the unsuffered characters get their ass kicked, so I like it because of that. Yeah, he's a good character.
Yeah, they managed to make a series, and fairly faithfully, that
Obviously,
manages to
they had to
give-
cut out a whole lot.
No, but
Yes.
definitely faithfully. Like I have a friend that is a freaking One Piece connoisseur. That guy is like in episode 1090 right now. And he said, no, I really checked it out, and I checked the first episode. I checked the other first episode of the actual anime, and no, they are legit. Like they definitely did a good,
Yeah.
great job.
It's faithful to the spirit of the anime, and
Yeah.
and even though they're cutting out a ton of stuff, it's still faithful to the story of the anime, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the difference between One Piece and the Wheel of Time, right? And the Wheel of Time,
any of them.
well, I'm sour about the Wheel of Time, so I'm
I
gonna
know.
find an excuse to talk about it. Okay, that's the difference. That's the difference. The Wheel of Time said, "Oh man, it's 15 books. We don't have time to include everything." Okay, you can try to include some of it though, right?
Mhm.
And I've said this ad nauseum. For the Wheel of Time, you don't need writers, you need editors. You need people to go through and say, okay, we can include this. We don't have time for this. We're gonna have to squeeze these two characters together so that we can get to the end. Okay, and that's what they did with One Piece. That's it. They literally just took, hey, what are the best parts of this first story arc? We're gonna have to cut the filler and squeeze some characters together, squeeze some events together, but the story is the same. It's just less. And that the approach is just night and day. What they did to One Piece versus what they did to the Wheel of Time. It's disgusting.
It always comes down to the real things that matter. It's the writing. The characters are consistent. They are hopeful. They are uplifting, like heroes are supposed to be. Mentors are supportive and encouraging, like they're supposed to be. You know, everything is like this is why One Piece is going to go down as probably the best show of this year by far, and it's not even a comparison because Wheel of Time.
Ahsoka was brilliant.
Yes, because the flash between Anakin and Vader was literally life-changing. God. I can't you know what I'm really surprised by is just how absolutely brain dead 90% of the people are that watch these shows, and they're totally okay with everything. It's just like, oh well, the animation was fantastic, or the special effects were amazing, or this is real acting, and it's like a plank of wood.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts that we've like fallen this far. Like
It's
like we used to
it's-
think that Paranormal Activity training everybody to freak out at jump scares was like the worst it was going to be,
I
and
know.
now here we are arguing with people who are like, I didn't know that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader. It's like, you're not a fan, you're a tourist.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the Castlevania. Castlevania is made by Konami. I had people telling me it was Capcom.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, Lemao, I'm not kidding, but
ah,
my computer heard me talking about Wolverine, and now my trending topics in Twitter is Wolverine, which is really weird because nothing like there's nothing new about Wolverine. Literally, there's nothing here. Maybe they're talking about the game, perhaps.
Yeah, you gotta every time I install an operating system, it's unchecking a whole bunch of boxes. Do you want Google to be able to listen to you while you sleep and analyze your breathing patterns? Nope, 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 no.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do want Google to understand me a little bit better, specifically with the algorithm in YouTube. I don't know if you have felt, but the YouTube algorithm nowadays, like for the past month or month and a half, has been really, really, but garbage. Like every time I'm trying to, like, go into this relaxing, just watching
Yeah,
YouTube videos, I used to, like, go into rabbit holes of watching, like, maybe it would show me a playlist of 3 neurotic videos with 3 critical drinker and these Paru videos, right? It was balanced. But now it's like, oh, one video, you watch one video from from critical drinker. Oh, you're gonna have to watch now a stream of 4 hours of a random episode 3 months ago of the open bar, right? Of his podcast, which is not even his best podcast. And he's like, I've tried so hard to ban, like literally to stop. I always click on do not recommend this, and YouTube it just doesn't listen. And that's why I wonder
yeah.
why the videos and the views for a lot of people, at least small creators like ourselves,
I think the
have been way worse. Not only way worse, but like way harder to get. So you really have to be really specific.
I think the shorts feed is even worse. I think they're actively pushing things that you don't want recommended to you.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
I get freaking videos from India from a kid that has to be and starts singing and he's like,
Well, I get
0 likes, 10 1,000 dislikes, and it's like I still get it. And even if I put do not recommend this channel, I get a channel that is exactly like that 3 shorts later. And that's why I stopped watching shorts. I used to love shorts. I watch things like Debbie Goggins all day because I love that guy. He's so funny. And
I
he's motivational.
I forced myself to watch shorts just so that
Understand the
I'm in the zeitgeist.
yeah,
I reserve
exactly.
it for when I'm pooping, right? Because it's already a crappy experience.
Yeah, I mean, I only
Um,
watch it because I want to get exactly how to make them because I still learning. I don't even know how to do them.
but I can't tell you how many times I've gotten the same channel. I've literally gotten the same channel that I've hit do not recommend on,
Mhm.
and it just keeps coming back, and it's just this filth content that I'm like, I
Yeah,
literally never want to see this ever again.
exactly.
I keep getting. Does anyone get those weird, like Asian videos where it's like a couple who they're both greedy and they're always trying to trick each other to get more food?
Yeah,
Does anyone
weird.
know what those? Have you anyone seen those?
I think I've seen
So
something like
the
that.
wife will prepare 2 meals and she'll put all the meat on under the rice on one of them, and so they flip over the plate and get the meat, and then they switch plates, and it's them trying to fight over
Like
Mhm.
basic
it's
TikTok.
a loveless
Yeah,
marriage where they're trying to get more food than the other person. I just keep getting them. They're everywhere, and I've banned like 30 channels.
Yeah, because they are
Uh,
recycled channels, recycle the content, and it's
isn't
like
isn't it
Mhm.
an issue also of history, like your viewing history? Because
Um,
I've noticed, I think I have seen a selection because like after YouTube did one of their recent updates, it's like if I watch one video from like another channel or something, just out of
exactly.
curiosity, it's just
uh-huh.
like, you want this content. Here is all of their content. It's like I watched one video.
Oh,
I
forget
don't
about it. Like even if you watch seconds of one of the shorts of one
Right.
topic that you have not like, maybe you went to pee and you left
Right.
the short running, and you just watch 5 seconds of something that you have no interest in, like through
Meanwhile, I
like Andrew
probably
Tate, bro. Like
yeah.
for some reason, every day I get like 15 Andrew Tate videos, and I'm like, how many channels I had to block? I don't want to listen to the nonsense that Andrew Tate. He's not a profound guy. He's
Meanwhile,
the cheap man.
I've probably watched like 100 hours of Nerdrotic and Friday Night Tights, and if I
Mm,
want to find his latest video, I have to type in Nerdrotic and go to his channel, and then go to most
exactly.
recent videos to find it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not gonna recommend you the video even if you watch a something else that is the same content. I mean the same kind of like topic, same kind of content, but it's like nope. And that's why nobody of us gets recommended anymore. Remember when we used to get good views with the Rings of Power videos and things like that? It was because when you will look for Rings of Power, you will watch a video of a bigger creator, and then they will show you in the recommended feed in the right side. They will show you smaller creators like 500 views, 1,000 views, things like that.
Mm.
It was really off. It was really normal, and I used to, as a small creator, I used to see it a lot in my YouTube recommend. Nowadays, I don't see it at all. It's literally just either videos that I watch already like 30 times because YouTube does not recommend me nothing new. Literally just keeps playing the same thing. And I'm like, I cannot switch channels sometimes. Like right now, I cannot just go and switch, the video because I'm right now talking. But YouTube still gives me the same crap over and over and over again, repeating. And if not, it's just a 3-4 hour BS,
Mm.
outdated live stream. That's why been
I'm al-
trying to do live streams, but it's like
uh, I'm also constantly getting shorts from minors, like just a kid
yeah,
who's recorded a video, and I'm like, I didn't even know that you
you could.
isn't it illegal? Like,
No, it's not. You can be like 13.
I don't know, but
I
like they
mean,
don't.
it should be legal, but
It's some of the stuff is pretty disturbing.
yes, yeah, I have
Yeah.
seen some bad things. Yeah.
at least it's better than that stupid Elsa Gate crap that was going on.
Dude, I was in the thick of it. I watched that almost happen to my son. The the autoplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was watching like one of those like truck that what was it? It was some truck. It was a talking truck
Mhm.
they were really good videos and they were on YouTube, and then it would turn into Elsa getting spanked by Spider-Man and needles. There were always needles.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird stuff.
Weird, yeah. But that's the thing with YouTube content nowadays in the kids zone. I watch if I go right now to the kids part of YouTube that is popular right now. There are probably like 2 or 3 videos that are really disturbing, and I like as an adult I would say like, what the heck is this? Specifically
Nope.
with the furry like
Yeah.
animation.
None of my kids are allowed to watch YouTube.
Thank God. Yeah, no, 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 never. I mean, not even YouTube kids. Like um. Yeah, I don't even know what nowadays. I mean, I guess that's why I kind of grateful that Benki is, getting created the new platform from the Daily Wire for kids shows. It's like okay, if I ever had kids, at least I know what I'm going to show them, right? I mean, at least I know they're not gonna be freaking um what is it, brainwashed.
It would be a hell of a lot better to have children watching watching shows that are made for them to educate them from, say, the Daily Wire versus something like Sniper Wolf or any of these other titty streamer.
Doxer, no doxing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that chick is wild, bro.
Can
Yeah.
can we
like-
find a map to Jack's Film's house?
Chat GPT apology, yes. Yeah.
Ooh,
I hate that
that's a
girl.
video. We need to make that.
I hate that girl because she shows her titties to kids, and that's some disgusting thing that YouTube promotes a lot.
YouTube and
Um,
Twitch, all of
And
them. Yeah,
oof,
it's
Twitch.
brutal.
Don't even get me started with Twitch. Jesus Christ, with Twitch. I remember that every day I used to go on Twitch just to take a picture of the homepage, because I was legitimately sure that they were selling sex to things to kids, right?
Yeah.
And if you go, the thing is that they will ask you, your age when you go into this, like, over 18-year-old streams, and you have to be an account, right? Nope, you don't have an account. You have to need an account if you go into like private mode, which is like basically, you have no account when you go into private mode. So when you go into the website, the first thing that it shows you is Amurath. And well, it used to show you, the first thing was Amurath. I don't know nowadays. But Amurath, and the top, it was when the bathtub was Meta. So everything was
hot tub
bathtubs.
streams.
Yeah, hot tub streams. Everything was hot tub streams, and it was like, okay, how is this here? And it's not even showing me. Like, it only asked me, "Oh, do you have 13 years old?" And I'm like, bro, like, uh, what? That's the only thing they asks you, if you are 13 years old, and they will show you mature content.
And these people are so desperate at this age for affection that they were stealing their parents' credit cards and just be like,
yeah,
"Yep, I'm gonna keep swiping and keep paying.
Yeah,
$50 for this
never mind
message that you're
affection.
never
Never
gonna
mind
read."
affection, bro. Your freaking hormones, the guys specifically, your testosterone makes you so horny, and it has it makes you have these weird dreams and these weird fantasies with girls that are obviously older, right? It's kind of weird, and Hollywood has perpetuated that culture for some reason somehow for the past, the 90s and the 2000s. I would say that those are the most pedofilitos years ever for movies. If you
This
go
is
back and watch
this
those, it's
is
like, it's wild.
right. This is the problem is you either have to own the physical media, which is becoming increasingly harder and harder to find,
Mhm.
or I mean, this is why I signed up for Disney Plus when it first came out, so that I could show my kids the Disney classics,
Mhm.
and watch Gargoyles with my son. That was awesome.
Mhm.
And now, as much as I would like to continue doing that, I can't. I morally cannot
And yeah.
I can't support Disney, a company like Disney who is specifically targeting kids.
Mhm. Definitely. I would even recommend, this is way better to get Paramount, or to get like
Wait,
HBO, which has, Cartoon
when
Network
yeah,
and Nickelodeon, which they are way more legit, yeah.
when Disney weighed in on the Florida bill,
They really put their foot in their mouth when
calling
they
it the don't
jumped
say
into
gay,
politics.
calling it the don't say gay bill, when it's literally a bill about it's an anti-grooming bill. It's just
Yeah, it prevented discussion of the sexuality of children with their teachers. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
but hey,
because
that was hateful.
yeah, I don't know. It's always been weird for me that people will be obsessed to revealing who do they like to bang to their kindergartners. It's bizarre. It's subhuman. It's something out of this world.
don't
Literally.
don't ever bring that up on the stream again, please. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. The live action gargoyles. I will kill myself.
Lemao.
no.
I did hear that, and I'm distraught.
Lemao, yeah, in game, in game. Oh no, the gargoyles, and supposedly they're trying either bringing Kevin Feige or I don't know who they were bringing, but for that one, but sounds awful.
Yeah, the ads on those sites are not kid friendly either, though. So that's the other problem.
There's also the issue that
Yeah,
you can't trust the streaming services to play the content in their original context or form because they will
yeah,
edit
no.
things. They've
Yeah.
already done
Mhm.
it numerous times.
yeah. I mean, I have an
Uh,
app that I use for like streaming, you know, without paying. They just put it like that, but and it doesn't have an ads, so it's
Yeah.
like safer. But even then, is you don't have exact control out of those things the way that you will have control with things like YouTube Kids. If YouTube Kids, it still was a safe platform for kids content, or
Yeah.
Netflix Kids. If Netflix Kids was still a safe platform for kids content, and as well with Disney and
Dude, they
and,
have
and the rest.
I know like their Star Wars kid show. The literally
Tales of the no
no, they made a Star Wars kid show like this
yeah
year.
yeah
It was catered towards like elementary kids. It's full
well
of yes, no, like it's not safe for kids.
hmm
My son started watching it. Hey, look, a Star Wars show for me. I was like, yeah, great, let's watch it. Nope, sorry, you can't watch that show.
hmm yeah, you had to like literally go through the entire show and and it's not gonna be like
I
you
just
you know what you're gonna find there.
like what's Disney's? It's Disney,
Mhm.
comma a family company, and families can no longer trust Disney.
Yeah,
How like it's disgusting.
Yeah,
because
they
it stopped
they tapped out
stop
on the family
being a
values.
family content. Yeah, it stopped being a family and it started being a leftist pandering machine, literally.
hmm It's about the money. They don't really care.
Hmm
Certainly
Yeah.
not the group of people that run it now.
They can't
Mhm.
be making money though.
No, they are not
See,
anymore.
somebody actually argued with me that well, Disney will never go away. They make billions. It's like if Disney wasn't if people weren't looking to sell Disney to Apple right now, then I might believe you. But
Yeah.
they're
Dude.
at the Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars theme park, it's closed.
Uh,
3 years after
It's
3-year
closed.
construction was done,
yeah,
it's shut down. The other theme park
unheard
or
of. That is
motel or whatever,
unheard of.
Unheard of.
That
Yeah.
is nothing like that has like nothing even close to
There are
anything like
parts
that
of
has
Disney
ever
that
happened.
are 100 years old. I mean, not 100, but like, you know what I mean? Like, there are parts of the park in Disney that are 60, 70 years old and they are still open.
Yep.
Goddamn Epcot and Magic Kingdom and all and Animal Kingdom and all those things are so old, but they just keep renewing them and keep adding more things and keep repairing them. But this one, it was just so worthless.
What was
They just
the
scrapped the entire thing. They probably going to use it for Marvel or something.
Yep.
but yeah, it's not sustainable. I'm curious to see how long they'll be able to keep defrauding investors before it falls
Yeah.
on its face.
But you're right, Albello. Like literally, it's starting to fall apart. Like the fact that you mentioned that the fact that they're trying to sell to Apple and they're selling the Hulu and they're selling the 30%
ESPN,
yeah,
ABC,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
they're looking to sell off almost everything that they've put. This is what blows my mind. I when it comes to business, obviously, we're nowhere near as successful as these people because we're trying to make something out of ourselves and we're not in the positions they are. But these people have had these people are in the position of Disney, like one of the biggest companies in the history of the world.
Mhm.
You have Marvel, you have Star Wars, and now because of the Fox merger, you have Alien, Predator, and everything else that comes with that, and you are losing money?
Can you imagine saying that sentence 5 years ago? That Disney would be losing money?
If you said that in the 90s, people would tell you that
Disney
you
was
are
Can you imagine
completely
10 years ago
deranged.
telling people, "Hey, Disney is going to ruin Star Wars and lose everything"?
I don't know, maybe 10
Like,
years ago, because
well, even
maybe
like even just a few years ago, Disney was systematically buying up. They bought Fox. They bought.
yeah.
They
I mean,
did the
5
deal
years
with Sony.
ago was
Like they're
Last
sucking up
Jedi.
companies, and
5 years ago was the Last Jedi, so I don't know. Maybe
they
5
were
years
still
ago, yeah.
they still did the Fox merger, right? That still went through. They were still systematically sucking up companies left and right,
Yeah, yeah.
and now they're on. I don't know how close they are to bankruptcy, but it can't be far.
Not bankruptcy, but like their investors
Like
are
people
about
aren't
to
going
like
like
pull
they're
funds
losing money
and
from the parks
yeah.
too. It's not just the Disney, it's not just the Star Wars hotel. People are preferring Universal Studios over Disneyland. I know
Yeah,
I will
because has
never
way
take
better
I will
prices.
never take my family to Disneyland, but I will definitely take them to Universal Studios. I already have.
Heck yeah.
I would love to be the guy who actually gets to see their financial information because so that video I broke down of the productions and all of that, for example, if you apply that relative formula, and it's fairly accurate across the board, like everything has like a 50 million margin. Like that's how accurate the idea
Yes.
is. Even like their most wildly successful movies, which I think the example was Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame only made like $400 million.
Yeah.
Even
Budget was
though
so
it was a
huge.
multi-billion-dollar movie, it still only actually profited Disney about $300 to $400 million.
But it was
Here's
like
the
1
problem.
billion, $1.8 billion.
Yeah, it was like two. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
one
2.1, something like that.
1.885, I believe.
Yeah.
Is this your
Um,
how do theaters make revenue video? Or no, what movies cost to make? Yeah, I'll check that
Yes,
now.
that one. So in there, I discussed that, and so okay, so let's say that movie makes 400 and some odd $1 million. Here's the problem: how much did Little Mermaid cost? It cost $300 million,
300.
and
Yeah.
that's just the production budget.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
you
It
take that
cost, it
300
probably
million.
cost half a million. Half a
Yeah,
million.
yeah, yeah. So you take that 300 million, and the distribution and marketing individually are about 50% of the production budget. So you have 300 million plus 150 million. You're looking at a $450 million movie, and it lost money.
Not only that, but remember that you had to add at least other 50 million because of the budget that they borrowed from Elemental, because they cut the budget from Elemental half to give it to the Little Mermaid, and it lost money.
Exactly. So one movie almost completely negated the gain of the most popular at the time movie ever.
Wow.
Now,
Mhm.
Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder. How many more movies have all come out and absolutely bombed?
They probably broke even on Guardians 3, but didn't they? They maybe made a couple
Guardians-
billion.
They
A
did
couple
No,
million.
they did
Guardians
made at
lost
least
70, I
100.
think.
I think
Oh, for real?
Guardians lost like 50 million.
It was 400.
Ryan Kinnell did a video on that, actually.
okay.
It was 400 million budget, right?
I thought that one at least broke even, but
Yeah, they said the same thing about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi lost money because everybody looks at the budget and the box office and assumes that everything made there goes
No.
to the studio. That's not true. 50% of the box office
goes to theaters.
50% of the box office goes to the studio or goes to the theater, and then the rest of it is divvied up between production, between the
And
studio
actors
and
have
distribution.
percentages of that.
Yeah, well, a lot of the budget for a lot of the production budget is up front for the actors, though of course they can work out something
Right.
like they get like royalties and whatnot
Right.
at a later
Exactly.
time.
Sometimes people forego payment to get percentages of films. It depends.
Exactly.
Not only that, but they are producers as well for the films to get money. Like Barbie, the Barbie movie, Margot Robbie was the executive producer, and she got 70, like 30% of
She got a
the
percentage
total.
in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
but no one, so few people are actually looking at this. Is why I started shifting my perspective and talking about the actual discussion of the film industry, as well as researching things that make like how movies work and whatnot. Because if people don't understand these things, then they truly cannot grasp that these movies and shows are not actually making money,
Yeah, exactly.
right? How much do you think Ahsoka costs to make per episode, or Wheel of Time? How much do you think these budgets actually are? Last I heard, I think Ahsoka was like 100 million per, yeah, it was like
No,
100 million.
per episode. No.
I don't know the per episode count, but
Right.
last I heard it was somewhere around 100 million.
Yeah, definitely
That's
has to
not
be
unreasonable.
200
However,
total.
100 million going into a show that at its peak only pulled 1.2 million people, it's impossible for that show to make money. Impossible.
And
In
then you get,
YouTube, yeah, YouTube numbers that would be like at least.
I mean, it's
Imagine, yeah,
it's so embarrassing when you compare it to shows like House of the Dragon, which was made on a very modest budget, and it looks
Mm,
it look
no, House of the
it-
Dragon has like a 400 million budget.
it's 200.
No, House of no,
For
no,
the
no,
full
no.
series is
House of,
200 million.
I think that we have to apply the same concept
HBO
They
to.
Max's House of the
I don't
Dragon has a budget of around 150 to 200 million for
150
its
is too
first
less.
season.
That
Wow.
we can believe those numbers because Warner Brothers has a like they've been doing this a lot longer.
And they record in England, so they had to like they had to give the tax return numbers. So they had to be specific with these numbers.
But
That's why we know
but
that the Snow White
look
is
at
going to
this.
be more than 300 million.
How does that show look compared to Wheel of the Time, compared to Rings of Power that look like child's play, compared to House of the Dragon? Like
It's the quality of the
it's
teams.
it's
Mhm.
money laundering.
House of the Dragon even look better than the last seasons of Game of Thrones. Way
It did.
better.
Yes.
With fraction of the budget, yeah.
Because they learn because you're dealing with people who know the craft.
I actually
Ryan the guy.
I actually pointed out to Mahler in EFAP. He was doing his stream way back when it was like the 4th or 5th episode when in Game of Thrones when Cersei Cersei when she not Cersei whatever, the blonde that goes nuts when she torches King's Landing. I actually pointed out to him in his stream that that production got so bad that when they're torching the city, there's actually a shot in that scene where 2 guards are standing there totally casual, like they've got their hands on the hilt of their swords which are sheathed, and they're just on fire,
still.
but they're just casually looking around like, huh,
Yeah.
what great weather today. It's rather hot out here.
Yeah, the last seasons of Game of Thrones had producers who were tired and didn't want to do it anymore problem. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was doing the best show ever,
even with those types of flaws, looks so
Yeah.
much better than Rings of Power.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop there. Think about, Castlevania. How much do you think that must have cost? There's no way it was 10+ million per episode. It had to be 1 or 2.
yeah, it was this. Like, it has to be like a $50 million show, 100 million plus at most. Yeah,
But we're not going to get anything newer because we're not going to get anything different from what we keep seeing here, and that's the problem, because it's all about my next video is actually talking about writers and just complaining about how they're basically just children today. And
Mhm.
one of the things that
Yeah.
I touch on is that what I touch on is that we have been spoiled for so long because we lived through such fantastic years, the 80s, 90s, early aughts, nothing but rapid technological advancement. Our prosthetics, our visual effects, all of it. And the only way to keep up with the rabid growing excess of demand is to make things for cheaper to make it to produce more faster. And that's what the model has become.
But you have to pay your team of your writers room of 30 writers minimum.
Yeah, but that's another disconnect in Hollywood. These people want to make the money while the studios cough up, what they have, but they can't keep doing that, especially if they're losing out money. Like, this is all going to come crashing down around them. There's no way. But the SAG-AFTRA thing actually failed. They didn't come to agreements.
I know.
Like, they didn't come to agreements because they don't realize.
I think the studios are win. There's no way the studios aren't winning here. Like, the longer the strike lasts, the better for studios, because they they can't legally fire these woke people because they'll get in trouble with HR, right? They can't fire them for being woke, when in reality it would be firing them for being bad writers, right?
But the
blowback would be, I know, but the blowback would be not worth the trouble, right? But if this strike keeps going, they can just get rid of them. This is their excuse to purge the system.
Sure, but it doesn't help that they also have literal fascism defending them, because in California you have other laws and that
they're getting unemployment.
Yeah, exactly.
The writers are getting paid unemployment for voluntarily choosing not to work.
Which one of the basic
This is the
notions
same California that shut down restaurants and private businesses while telling movie studios it was okay to keep producing. Remember that video from that?
They were a battle,
that
lady,
that restaurant owner in California who, after they told her, okay, you can keep your restaurant open if you build a patio outside, and then she built it, and then they said, sorry, you can't keep your restaurant open, even though we told you you could. And then she filmed a video of across the street an entire 1,000 people eating lunch and making a movie. This is the same California.
They were considered essential workers, the movie stars. Imagine
it's all total lies. There's nothing about it actually makes any real sense. It was about control and shutting everything down, and when people pushed back, they got the boot.
Yeah, but it's the very same thing nowadays. It's like they haven't given up on that. They continue, and there's a little bit more of a pushback now than it was back then. Back then, everyone was scared, so there was less pushback. But nowadays, it's just everyone is had enough, and there's more pushback, and that's why channels that do these kind of YouTube videos, they do a lot for the culture, because they create the real counterculture, which is something that we lost. Counterculture in the past was the hippies, the peace and love and drugs and things like that. And it's like, no, counterculture nowadays is about personal responsibility. Imagine that, right?
The emo kids are rebelling against their parents and getting jobs
and going to the gym and eating right, and actually exercising. And it's like, how, and well, you had to thank people like freaking Andrew Tate and guys like that, right? Well, not really, more like Jordan Peterson and David Goggins and all the Joe Rogan and these people that have brought this new era of self responsibility, I guess.
Every one of them is hated, even if someone, and mind you, Andrew Tate has mentioned before, it's like his ideas are not original, like
yes,
he does repeat people, he's just repeating. Sure, he's a crass version of Peterson, but they hate that. it's not about having a discussion, it's about shutting down the conversation. It's
Right.
about feeling good subjectively and not about trying to have any real conversation about
Mhm.
anything else. That's
Mhm.
how it is. You
Mhm.
know,
It's the Overton window. You make it you make it taboo or even sometimes illegal to have a contrary opinion.
Yes, but
yes.
that's what happens in fascist regimes, like you know, Germany in the World War II, and Russia, USSR during the Cold War, China during Mao, and the Philippines, and all of these tiny South Asian places that
Mm.
had a lot of
You can't.
dictatorships as well. And
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's going to
you're not
happen.
allowed to say anything negative about the alphabet people, or you get canceled.
Yeah, but that's the glory that we have, I guess, in the American continent. I mean, in Mexico, you cannot say things about what kind of people. You can say whatever you want about the alphabet people. Nobody cares. Probably, if we enter a war, probably that people would not be safe, because let's just say that the bad people in Mexico, they are not the most inclusive, diverse people in the world. Um, Basically, what is happening in Palestine, right? Happens here in Mexico, but in a much less level. It's not the same thing, but I mean about the terrorism. But yes, I don't even know what we were talking about.
We were just talking about general culture
Hmm.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
They hate the woke lefties and everything that sort of falls under that umbrella. These people hate. There's a reason why they hate anybody who disagrees with them, because it
Hmm.
proves them wrong ultimately, and I think they
Mhm.
do know this.
Hmm.
It's like I have
Yeah,
I have an
it's
insignificant channel here on YouTube, and look at the amount of hate that I'm getting in
yes.
the comments. It's batshit insane. And then you look at people like Nerdrotic, Drinker, that Star Wars girl. Like, there's a million of these people that are rising to prominence because they speak the truth. And then if you disagree with them, you are every phobic ism that someone can make up. It's
Yeah.
not an argument; it's gatekeeping.
Mhm. I think
Yeah.
the reason, like, basically what you said, the reason why they're so afraid of people speaking, and the reason why they constantly have to they literally won't survive if they don't do this to TV shows. They're constantly changing the world around them, because if they're held to a microscope, their ideology completely falls apart. There is no logical consistency with leftism.
Yeah.
If it's presented to with if they ever have to face the truth or reality, their logic falls apart, their universe falls apart.
Yes.
So to avoid that ever happening, they have to take everything, or they have to change the world around them so that they don't have to see it. Right? They tell you boys can be girls. They take they take the Lord of the Rings and they paint over it so they don't have to look at the Lord of the Rings anymore. Because
Hmm.
what is the truth behind Lord of the Rings? It's um like friendship. It's good
Mhm.
and evil.
It is a
It's
fundamentally
sacrifice.
Christian story.
It's
They hate it.
Christianity. It's God. It's it's
And
like
white.
the literal concept of good and evil. And I've said this ad
And
nauseum,
white.
but I'll keep saying it. These writers, they don't know how to write villains because they don't know what good and evil are. Like, they celebrate evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that they don't know how to write villains, and that's why everything's boring. That's why it's worth the cost to them. It's why these companies are willing to lose so much money, because they're afraid of the truth. They're actively running from reality, and they think if we just keep painting fast enough, then it will become the reality. There will be no other option.
Yeah, they and because of how far they're chasing after everything, they've lost.
Yeah,
They've
they
lost
went
the
too fast.
they've lost the understanding of even basic simple ideas like
Mhm.
a simple story of good versus evil is now considered to be boring, and it's just like one of the comments I got earlier today, I happened to see it before when I think I told you, I think I mentioned something like this earlier to you.
Uh-huh.
Somebody had commented and said that because I made a short that was Richter in Symphony of the Night, and I was
Yeah.
kicking Dracula's ass, and then
Mm.
and then it hard cuts to Richter crying like a bitch because that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
And one of the comments said, "Oh, so you just want a one-dimensional character with no development?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Let me guess. Your favorite anime character is Goku, right?" It's like did everything about Goku and Batman and Superman and Vegeta and well, maybe not Vegeta actually, but like 90% of all of these characters just go out the window because almost everyone that we see in film
Mhm.
is one-dimensional. Almost all of them, and they're
Yeah.
praised. But God forbid I want to see a character that's actually like that.
Yeah. Someone asked me, do you think why do Rafe Judkins is the showrunner for Wheel of Time? Sorry, I'm talking about it again. Sue me. Someone asked because I did this huge breakdown where Brandon Sanderson, who finished the books, finally came out and talked about how crappy the TV show is, and people are furious about it, right? Or not people. No one's actually mad. It's just like the 10 people who like the show on Twitter are furious about it, right? But someone asked me after I did this huge video, so much work. Why do you think Rafe Judkins hates the Wheel of Time? And I'm like, your premise is faulty. Rafe Judkins does not hate the Wheel of Time. He hates that he loves the Wheel of Time. He read the Wheel of Time when he was a kid and loved it.
Jenkins is the guy
Rafe
that
Judkins, yes,
he's the one that's doing the show, correct?
Yes, he read the Wheel of Time when he was a kid. That's a fact, and he loved the books. And now, I went to college, right? Took it up the butt. Has become woke. It is his entire ideology has changed, and now he's at odds. And this goes back to what I was saying before. He's at odds in this world. He doesn't know how two things can exist. He doesn't know how it's possible that he was ever able to like a series that wasn't woke. It didn't have diverse characters. It didn't have feminism up the wazoo. And that's why, like, and that's how you'll get people who claim that they were super fans that are advocating for these changes as well. It's the same thing. They think they need to fix these franchises because then if they fix it, they're allowed to like it again.
It's all in the name of convenience.
I genuinely think it comes from shame. It comes from shame. They are ashamed that they ever liked something that wasn't woke. And that's why you get this blind obedience. Like you're saying that the people who still like Star Wars, it's the best acting ever, and it's a plank of wood. It's because it's their team. When you go to I don't know if I don't watch football, but I'm trying to make a metaphor, right? If you go to the sports, you don't care if what the ref said was accurate. You just know that if it was against your team, it was wrong.
Well, it's even worse
you've
than
experienced
that
this, right? When you're in the moment, when you're in the bleachers,
it's more like a cult.
the ref is always wrong if it's against your team.
Yeah, it's more than anything, it's actually cult-like behavior because
it has evolved.
But even with sports, like that it's like you go home and you're like, okay, yeah, some of those but in the moment it's
Yeah, but this is something that lasts forever. Like that's in their
But
head.
this is their lives. Exactly. This is
24/7.
their lives.
Yeah,
If
that's
they
why
ever
it's like
go home
oh,
and realize, oh, hey, no, the ref
they
was
are
actually making
infected.
some good points, their lives will fall apart, and they can't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
They
you're
have
not
to like
you're not
Ahsoka.
allowed
They
to
have to like
disagree.
Ahsoka. There is no other option. If they don't like Ahsoka, their world collapses.
You're not allowed to question the cult leader
And that's why you
or
get
their ideology.
Robert Kirkman, who wrote the Walking Dead, Invincible. Now he's
Mhm.
going on with putting these stupid changes in. You've got the Percy Jackson, right? He wrote these books that weren't woke. They were all white characters, and God forbid people liked them, and that's wrong. So now we're going to race swap all the characters
Mhm.
so that we're still allowed to like it.
And it really shows a serious weakness of things too, because as we discussed earlier with Count Ulrox being a gay snake.
It's so funny. I can't believe
It drives me nuts because if people were really all about like writing good strong characters from other countries and nationalities and all these other things, then why not make a story in that setting?
Yeah, I know.
Like I had an idea a while ago about like a black equivalent to Wonder Woman, like a person who just travels around Africa and fights. She fights the cartels. She fights the war leaders. She tries to preserve the nation.
Frees all of the child soldiers.
Yeah. But like she tries to stop the slavery that's
That
still
would be
happening in
dope.
that continent. Like she's against the strip mining that is being done by companies like Apple, Tesla, and the modern day colonization of things like what China is doing, because they're investing heavily into Africa. But
didn't they do that though with the Woman King?
No, actually, that's no. Bad.
Sorry. Okay, I didn't watch it.
But wouldn't that be considered woke?
That's okay.
Like,
I did, and I hated it.
Wouldn't that be considered woke in today's day and age?
That's called leading the witness, Your Honor.
No, it wouldn't be considered woke though, because it shows that nation. It shows that the people that are supposed to be weak and oppressed are actually weak and oppressed by their own people. So we can't show that. That's. Like
it would be very problematic
like
to show
Black Crime.
to show Africa.
Exactly. It's like why a white guy shooting a black guy is totally newsworthy, but God forbid anybody gives a crap about the billion people, an hour and a half south of me in Chicago that are getting shot up all the time.
I understand now. Yeah, I understand
The
now.
billions
I meant the
of
part.
property
I meant the
damage.
part about the black one, the black Wonder Woman, but because you give her a original story with a characteristic that has to deal with her origin, her ethnic origin, then it's good. It's way better than we actually get when you raise to have a character and just leave it like it is bland.
And there's no wherewithal to try and make anything even halfway respectful, because God forbid the history actually goes for it. You mentioned the Woman King. The Woman King is supposed to take place in the Kingdom of Dahomey. Of Dahomey. I love that it's called Dahomey. But the Kingdom of Dahomey was literally one of the most brutal of the slave trade nations in Africa. Yes. They have I explained this in the video.
That was conveniently left out in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they even mentioned we are the homie.
Yeah, they tried to rewrite the history and say that they were reluctant to get into the slave trade because they were on the back pedal, and
they started it. Go on.
They were brutal. One of their practices was the tree of forgetfulness. What they did is they would lash everyone. They would tie everyone to this tree, and you were forced to walk around the tree until you forgot your people, your nation, your culture, your religion, and all of it before you were shipped off. And they did this because they believed that the spirits of those who perished across the sea would return and haunt them. They tried to
Holy
break.
crap.
They tried
That
to break
is-
these people religiously and
like
spiritually.
knowing that what they were doing was obviously wrong.
Yes, they were
Oh, man.
monsters. And then the movie makes them out to be the good guys.
Mm.
There were so many black actresses that were offered like the roles in those movies, and they were like, "Screw you!" Like Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita
Or whatever her name is.
Nyong'o, yeah.
Yeah. She has a lot of syllables.
She's
Anyway,
Mexican. Don't worry, she's Mexican. Yeah. Well, kind
she
of.
but she was given the script, and she's like, "Who are these people?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's just a people from Africa." And then she went and researched it and was like, "Absolutely not. You can
No way,
wipe this.
yeah.
You can wipe your ass with this script. I will never work on
Not
it."
only that, she went to Ghana, no, or to something like that, where her origin, her ethnic origin is.
Yeah, she
because she
like
was born
traveled
in
to
Guadalajara,
Africa to
but
work with people because she felt so
exactly.
bad.
And she heard about the slave trade, and then she said, "Okay." And she saw the reality that was not only the white European guys. It was also the locals, mostly the locals.
What's crazy about the African slave trade is that it was the first time in history where any people were enslaving their own people, right? Like slavery had existed.
I don't know about that.
Slavery had existed
time?
for a long time. Okay,
I don't know
if
if you consider the
it was
Mexicans.
generally always enslaving someone else's people.
Mhm.
And the African slave trade, just like,
Oh yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah. This. Oh, it's hard because you're right, but there are parts
I
of
guess.
history.
Sorry, I guess the Mayan, the
Yeah.
South America did it
Yeah,
too.
those guys are weird. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Those guys are freaking weird.
Yeah,
So it really
Olmecs,
depends
the
on.
Aztecs, and
Yeah,
their
it
gay
kind of
snakes.
it kind of depends on which which one.
Yeah,
But like they
everyone.
they made it into a business though.
Yes, international.
Oh, and
business,
the
they traveled
multi-million,
everywhere.
yeah, international multimillionaire, and the biggest, definitely the biggest ever in the
Right.
history of the world. Yes, definitely.
The Mayans, the Mayans did have slaves that they used, right? Africa started selling them.
Yeah, and the African slave trade had started like way back. I think we read that it was like the 7th century is when they had started it. So think from the 600s all the way to the late 1800s. Over a millennia of slavery. And they were doing it to themselves. And yet somehow me here, and I'm a son of immigrants, I'm supposed to somehow feel I'm somehow supposed to
be
feel
responsible
guilty.
for reparations.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like my people couldn't figure out how to make potatoes, and you're gonna blame me for your ancestors being sold on a boat. Piss off.
We don't talk about the potato famine, man. Okay. It's a sour spot in our genealogy.
Yeah, I mean, me people, my people was ripping hearts out of. Me people was ripping hearts out of. I mean, not really me people. Me people. My people will be half Spanish, and the other half, I guess. I don't even know.
You guys have gay snakes and tacos. I think you're fine.
Yeah, gay flying winded, yeah, with wings,
Yeah.
winged snakes. Yeah,
Well,
you gotta love it.
This has been super fun. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. I mean,
I
Not
could
really.
keep going, but
I
got
could
the gym in the
keep
morning.
going on the wheel of time.
Yeah, we're
trust me,
talking
okay?
about God knows what. Yeah.
but we've been going for 3.5 hours. This feels like a good ending spot.
Hmm.
It's been fascinating. I love talking to you. You're welcome to come back anytime you want. Literally,
I
just
most
message me.
certainly will. This
If
was
there's
fun.
a TV show you need to complain about, that's what this is. That's what this is for. I'm trying to create a kind of an FNT for smaller YouTubers that's also family friendly and isn't constantly making jokes about masturbation.
Mhm.
I like what they do. I really like a lot of those guys, but man, sometimes it gets too hard to listen to.
I don't
Mhm.
really like the podcast. Sometimes it's hard for me to like listen to a lot of times. Yeah.
Trying to create a community of small YouTubers. That's what this is.
Mhm.
And then maybe we can not be small someday. We can grow together. It's the
One day.
cross contamination, right? Anyway, yeah. Do you have anything else to plug? I'm definitely going to watch your What Do Movies Cost. What you've been doing the last couple of months is really, really good. I mean, I liked your stuff before, but
Thank you.
if you're not watching his channel, repent.
I'm gonna
So-
check it out definitely. The
Yeah,
last
thank
video
you.
you did about Castlevania, I'm interested on the gay cancel quad.
Don't do it.
So funny.
Anything
Yeah.
specific you want to plug? Like,
I am Albelio. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for having me. You can find me on YouTube at Albelio, and you can also find me on Instagram and Twitter currently. I will be spreading to other websites
Mhm.
sometime soon, but in the meantime, these are where you can find me: Twitter,
Mhm.
YouTube, Instagram.
okay. You guys know where the Angry Mexa is. It's fantastic stuff.
Mhm.
So
He's
good.
in Germany, right?
Yeah. So, he's so good. You're so
Yeah.
good at the petty internet drama stuff. It's great.
I
don't
really
know.
enjoy doing it. It's funny.
I don't know how
Yeah.
you find some of the stuff so fast too.
I had to because if not YouTube, but the problem with YouTube, you know how they do it, and they just shadow ban people for some reason. But yeah, it's fun to do it. I just enjoy it, when I get out of work, it's like, they just have some fun and make fun of some really stupid people in the internet.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Check out my Brandon Sanderson video. I'm working on one that's it's gonna be some hot water. I'm addressing Daniel Green's newest video where he called me a bigot and told me to F off. So
Mm.
he said all Christians are bigots, and I
Wow.
took offense to that, and I'm gonna make a response to his video.
Mhm.
So, update on the album. Yeah. Oh, so I didn't talk to you about okay. Castlevania has always been woke? No. 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 That's not pleasant.
It actually kind of has been, though.
The games?
No. Oh, no,
The
if we're
TV show.
talking,
Sure.
if we're
yeah.
talking the show,
Yeah.
yes. The games, no.
Right. I don't think that's what this video is talking about. That sounds like, oh, hey, it was always bad. Update on my album. 85% done.
Mhm.
I'm really hoping I can have it done by Dragonsteel, which is a month away. So we're just mixing. We're mixing, making the voices sound good. Everything's recorded. I might have to go back and record one song because there was a glitch. But my album is almost done. And Lightbringer 3, glad you finished it, Mark Clark. And now the stream is over and Jared's gone. There's no one to talk to you. But that ending
The next one.
is so good. No, I think the 3 is real good. 4 is my favorite though. So good. Oh man. Okay.
All right,
Sorry,
I got
a
a
whole bunch
deep
of-
brother. I gotta
Yep,
leave, brother.
yep,
Yeah, you read
yep.
the comments and see you all guys in the next week.
Yeah, I'll end it. I'll end it there. Thanks.
It was
Thanks
nice
for
nice
to
doing
be
that.
angry.
Have a nice one.
It
Nice
was
meeting you too,
super fun to
Albelio.
talk.
Gonna check your
again-
channel. I'm gonna subscribe. I'm gonna leave you a comment.
Yeah, I'll
So-
send out like I have it scheduled till the end of the year.
Yeah, so we talk about the Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, just message me if you ever want to come back on.
Hell yeah.
Go check him out.
Hodel.
Mm. All right, brother. Have a good night.
Bye. Go
Have a great
away.
night,
I'm gonna. Bye.
Good night.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.